Every thug needs a lady. And every thug needs a down-ass bitch. Feel me? Every thug needs a lady. Baby, I'm convinced you my down-ass bitch. Baby, say yeah. Baby, say yeah. If you lie for me like you're loving me. Baby, say yeah. Baby, say yeah. If you die for me like you cry for me. Baby, say yeah. Baby, say yeah. If you kill for me like you come for me. Baby, say yeah. Baby, say yeah. Girl, I'm convinced you my down-ass. I know that you're loving me, cause you thug with me, who bust slugs for me. My baby, who gon' kill for you, like I comfort you, who else but the rule? You feel me? Girl, when we connect the dots, we hit the spot. Twin benders, you ride hard, I ride dropping to make it better. Baby got the Nina Beretta tucked low, and I'm 2 cars back with the 4-4. And the freaks you out on your mama's couch, that's what us thugs be bout. You know me. And while I pray for love, baby pray for us who celebrates the thugs. My lady, I be sick, capital game when I spit 16. Well, the bars are 16s and the doors are cars. The star is born in the hood, may the name live on. Are you welly, ladies? Feel me? Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you lie for me like you're loving me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you die for me like you cry for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you kill for me like you come for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. Chuck, I'm convinced you got down.
Now I'ma show you blood of love, there's no belly. You bounce from blow selling, though amounts to no telling. There'll be no telling. Snitches, get it back, throw gats to your backs for my boy. Part of the game is that, huh? Niggas and they feelings, cause I handle your dealings, keep your name intact, my fame's intact. So cops won't know what it's hitting for. Now hoes wanna know what you shitting for. Cause I'm your bitch. The body for your clot is mental. Mash your enemies, we out in the rental. I'm your bitch. Niggas run up on ya. Shift your lungs, who's your organ? Don't know what they know about it. Extreme measures, I'ma ride with you and my baby. 380 at my side and we lock the town. I'm as down as any thug. My love, they gotta take us in blood. Whoa.
Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you lie for me like you're loving me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you die for me like you cry for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you kill for me like you come for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. Girl, I'm convinced you are down. Baby, you can die from love, and any given time I can die from slugs. But that's what this life is capable of. The death and the life of a bitch and a thug is what I'm scared of. But I got a woman that ain't afraid to tuck the toast in the escalator. Pop on niggas that showing me shade, but only for the root, cause that's my baby. Got me get down ass bitch with red hair that don't care. Blaze brighter shots than flares. Girl, come on, follow me and bust back at police. Conceal your heat, it's a bit much to blaze up. Rolling Chuck and IG, the murderers INC. With one on the hip, one in the holster. Nigga will toast you quick, especially our down ass. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you lie for me like you're loving me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you die for me like you cry for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you kill for me like you come for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. Girl, I'm convinced you my down ass. Thug on, you my down ass. Thug on, lady, thug on, you my down ass. Thug on, baby, thug on, you my down ass. Thug on, lady, thug on, you my down ass. Thug on, baby, say yeah, baby say yeah. If you lie for me like you loving me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you die for me like you cry for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you kill for me like you come for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. Girl, I'm convinced you my down. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you lie for me like you loving me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you die for me like you cry for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. If you kill for me like you come for me. Baby say yeah, baby say yeah. Girl, I'm convinced
serve till I die.
Okay. New player circle.
As a matter of fact, it's gonna kill me, bitch. Cause you ain't.
Tell them shout it.
So get high.
Tell them Weezy.
Or get low. Yeah. If I don't do nothing, I'm about. I'm counting all day like the clock on the wall. Now go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. Say go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. Get money. I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Look, honey, I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Get money, get money.
The beat's so hot, the flow is so ice cold. Walk into the Gucci store, honey, I'm home. I am on my shit, I need a pamper on it. Toilet paper on the side, for example, homie. I get money. I know you niggas ain't heard no shit like this. And while you wishing on that falling star, I'm in a foreign car, smoking out with the doors ajar. Suede sunroof, hanging out the big top. We leave the dealership, head to the rim shop. You niggas barely dressing, I got thousands piling. That's that salad dressing, I'm on my 1,000th island. Wildin', styling, I get so much money, it's my ID, don't try me. And if I don't do nothing, I'm a fucking ball. And I ain't about to start running down, nigga, now.
If I don't do nothing, I'm a ball. I'm counting all day like the clock on the wall. Now go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. Say go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. Get money, and I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Look, honey, I say I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Get money,
ain't nothing to a boss. We ballin' when you see us. We hear them haters calling, they too far off to see us. Unless they got their glasses on. Get your bifocal game. Classes 9 session now. Try to stay focused, man. Your boy ain't good enough. Style ain't hood enough. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, won't do with us. True enough. Meet a hoe, break a hoe. Never nothing new to us. Turning hoes to housewives. Never been cool with us. Soon enough, all these dealings is gonna catch up. Till then, fuck it, I'm winning, so I'ma stack up. Flows like the river, the current is so rapid. Hit with the ratchet, that's how shit happens. Next time you yappin', make sure it be about big money talk. Let that little money walk. Call me what you want, but don't call me for fronts. Southside, I got what you want, come holler at me.
if I don't do nothing, I'm a ball. I'm counting all day like the clock on the wall. Say go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. Now go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. And baby, I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Look, honey, I say I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Get money, and if I don't do nothing, I'm about. I'm counting all day like the clock on the wall. Say go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. Now go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. Get money, and I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Get money, I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Get money, get money, get money.
Alright? Peace and Black Power, family. It's your boy Psychopath and your girl Renee. Black at you. Now I mean, with another RBG pill show. What's really hood out there, family? Know what I mean? Let me see. Let's get some ones out there. Let's make sure y'all can hear me. I think I'm good. I just checked. It look like I'm good, but let me get some shout-outs while I'm waiting, though. Make sure. Let's see. Let me get some shout-outs. Shout out to Miss Yum Yum. Shout out to Julie. Shout out to Trell. Shout out to Nisi. Shout out to JW. Shout out to let's see who else came up in here. Pookie, what's good? Happy birthday to Pookie. Know what I mean? I guess today's Pookie's birthday. Know what I mean? Shout out to Pookie. Know what I mean? Happy born to him. Know what I mean? His birthday's what's today? Today's September 2nd. Mine's October 2nd. Know what I mean? Mine is October 2nd. His September 2nd. You a Virgo. I'm a Libra, but you already. But anyway, happy born to you. Let's see. Rodney Rainey was good. Let's see. Who else? Stephanie was good. Tachu was going on. Nappy Yankee was good. Zadugu. Ron was going on. Take was good. Albella was good. And did I say the Chew? The Chew, if I didn't say you already, my bad. What's going on with Chew? And yeah, real quick, family. Yeah, fantasy football. For people that want to play fantasy football, still some spots open. You go to the Man Cave stream and look at the description. Click the link right there and join. Let me just throw that out there real quick too in the beginning, real quick. But yeah, what's going on, Renee? How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I could be better, but I'll be all right. What's going on, though?
Nothing much. Peace, y'all. Peace, everybody. And happy birthday to Pookie. And Pookie, my birthday is on the 2nd. Also, my birthday's on January 2nd. But shout out to you. I hope you enjoy your day. And all that good stuff. But yeah, shout out to the chat and everybody listening. If y'all can, please share the show. We are here early today. Usually we've been doing shows, I think, on Thursdays, but it's usually Thursday night. But it's a little schedule change for this week, so we here a little bit early. But yeah, so we're gonna get it in. I know, hopefully y'all seen the thumbnail, seen the title. So we're going to dig into this whole Dylann Bruce situation and a conversation about the death penalty. The other day I saw a debate that Mark Lamont Hill and Reza Islam. Now, I have my reservations about both of those people. Let me be very clear. But I did see a debate that they were having on this issue, and it was kind of based off of the Dylann Bruce situation. So I was like, man, that's a good topic, because the death penalty is something that, one of those things that I do like to have conversations about, and I definitely feel a certain way about it. But yeah, so I was like, that would be a really good, a good conversation to have. And I feel like it's been so much BS and stuff like that going on with this whole conscious community stuff. But we need to really address what's going on in the broader Black community. We need to address what's going on in the broader society. And so this gave that opportunity to really have this conversation. So, and I know it's going to be people on either side of the coin. And I thought they really did a good job of expressing their viewpoints. But to start, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get into this article. And then I think we're going to listen to some of their debate, just so everything is kind of brought up to speed in terms of where we're going to take this whole thing. So let me first get into, and let me say this, the whole Dylann Bruce thing, like, y'all, you hardly hear about him. You hardly hear about him in terms of like mainstream media. You don't hear much saying, being said ever. Let's not forget what this bastard did. But they kind of keep that really on the low. So it wasn't too many stories put out there about it, but I am going to read this one from the Associated Press. Because when I was looking up this information, I would have thought it would have been way more major news sites that did stories about this recently or talked about. No, it was a few, but so it is what it is. But we talking about it today. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this article. Like I said, it comes from the Associated Press. And court upholds the death sentence for church shooter Dylann Roof. All right. A federal appeals court Wednesday upheld Dylann Roof's conviction and death sentence for the 2015 racist slayings of 9 members of a Black South Carolina congregation, saying the legal record cannot even capture the full horror of what he did. A unanimous 3-judge panel of the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond rejected arguments that the young white man should have been ruled incompetent to stand trial in the shootings at Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston. In 2017, Roof became the first person in the U.S. sentenced to death for a federal hate crime. Interesting. Authorities have said Roof opened fire during the closing prayer of a Bible study at the church, raining down dozens of bullets on those assembled. He was 21 at the time. In his appeal, Roof's attorney argued that he was wrongly allowed to represent himself during sentencing, y'all. A critical phase of his trial. Roof successfully prevented jurors from hearing evidence about his mental health. Under the delusion, his attorneys argued that he would be rescued from prison by white nationalists, but only bizarrely if he kept his mental impairments out of the public record. Get the fuck out of here. Roof's lawyer said his convictions and death sentence should be vacated, or his case should be sent back to the court for a, quote, proper competency evaluation. The 4th Circuit found that the trial judge did not commit an error when he found Roof was competent to stand trial and issued a scathing rebuke of Roof's crimes. Dylann Roof murdered African Americans at their church during their Bible study and worship. They had welcomed him. He slaughtered them. He did so with the express intent of terrorizing not just his immediate victims at the historically important Mother Emanuel Church, but as many similar people as would hear the mass murder, the panel wrote in his ruling. No cold record or careful parsing of statutes and precedents can capture the full horror of what Roof did. His crimes qualify him for the harshest penalty that a just society can impose, the judges wrote. One of Roof's attorneys, Margaret Alice Ann Farrand, a deputy federal public defender, declined to comment on the ruling. Roof's other attorneys did not immediately respond to email requests seeking comment. The Reverend Kylan Middleton, a close friend of Mother Emanuel pastor Clementa Pinckney, a state senator who was killed in the massacre, said Roof's appeal reopened some of the psychological wounds felt by loved ones of the victims and survivors. Middleton said he is personally opposed to the death penalty, but had accepted that as the sentence Roof received. We just want whatever the consequences or the justice that have been delivered based on the court's ruling to be final, period, Middleton said. Assistant U.S. Attorney Nathan Williams, one of the lead prosecutors on the case, said the mass shooting was one of the worst events in South Carolina's history. Really? One of the worst? Our office is grateful for the decision of the court, a decision that ensures, as the court stated, that the harshest penalty A just society can impose is indeed imposed, Williams said in a statement. All of the judges in the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, which covers South Carolina, recused themselves from hearing Roof's appeal. One of their own, Judge J. Richardson, prosecuted Roof's case as an assistant U.S. attorney. The panel that heard arguments in May and issued the ruling on Wednesday was comprised of judges from several other appellate circuits. Following his federal trial, Roof was given 9 consecutive life sentences after pleading guilty in 2017 to state murder charges, leaving him to await execution in a federal prison and sparing his victims and their families the burden of a second trial. Last month, however, Attorney General Merrick Garland issued a moratorium and halted all federal executions, while the Justice Department conducts a review of its execution policies and procedures. The review comes after a historic run of capital punishment at the end of the Trump administration, which carried out 13 executions in 6 months. A federal lawsuit has also been filed over the execution protocols, including the risk of pain and suffering associated with the use of pentobarbital, the drug used for lethal injection. President Joe Biden, as a candidate, said he'd work to end federal executions. White House Press Secretary Jean Psaki, I think is her name, Psaki, whatever. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Said in March that he continues to have, quote, grave concerns about it, whatever that means. Biden has connections to the case. As vice president, Biden attended the funeral for one of those slain, State Senator Clementa Pinckney, who also pastored the congregation. During his 2020 presidential campaign, Biden frequently referenced the shooting, saying that a visit to Mother Emanuel helped him heal in the aftermath of the death of his son, Beau. Get the f*** out of here. Roof's attorneys could ask the full Fourth Circuit to reconsider the panel's ruling. If unsuccessful in his direct appeal, Roof could file what's known as a 2255 appeal, or a request that the trial court review the constitutionality of his conviction and sentence. He could also petition the U.S. Supreme Court or seek a presidential pardon, y'all. Kenner reported from Houston. So there you basically kind of have it. So basically that sentence was upheld. Now people associated with the case, some of the family, etc., they have, certain feelings about it. Some of them just want it to be over. But some of the family definitely is against the death penalty, and they don't want it for Dylann Roof. So that's kind of what leads up to this debate, if you will, that Marc Lamont Hill and Rizza Islam spoke on. I think that Marc Lamont Hill, he's kind of speaking along the lines of what some of the family members said, not representing what they said, but he's kind of coming from that position that they don't really support the death penalty in general. So he was kind of speaking on that end, and then Rizza Islam was speaking from the perspective of honestly what the judges ended up ruling in this case, which is that he deserved the absolute harshest penalty that there could ever be, which would be, of course, death. So
I got the video.
What'd you say?
I was saying I got the video.
Okay, so yeah, we can go ahead and get into that.
Okay, yeah. And Renee just gave the skinny of what we're about to watch. And we're about to watch a debate between Marc Lamont Hill, ultra liberal, against Rizza Islam, kooky Nation of Islam member, conspirator, but they're about to have a debate about the death penalty and whether or not it's justified. So, let's get ready to get into it. So we're gonna watch this, and then we're gonna listen to this, and then we'll come right back. All right.
Last week, when the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously upheld the 2017 death penalty decision for Dylann Roof, that's the white supremacist who murdered 9 black congregants in cold blood at one of the most symbolic and historic black churches in the country, I shared with my viewers an unpopular opinion. Take a look. You take somebody who did one of the most awful things we've ever seen or heard, and then you give him the death penalty, and everybody says, okay, fine. So there are cases where the death penalty works. And then guess what happens? The death penalty is then used not just for the Dylann Roofs of the world, not just for the Boston Marathon bombers. It's far more often going to be used against black and brown people. As it generally goes with unpopular opinions, this one also got a bunch of boos and thumbs down on social media. People made their own pages just to tell me how dumb I was. So I wanted to invite someone who can intelligently verbalize the disagreement that many people feel with my opinion. Joining me now is Rizza Islam. He is a researcher, an international activist, and a member of the Nation of Islam. Brother Islam, welcome to the show. I say, even for the Dylann Roofs of the world, we shouldn't practice the death penalty. That's my position. I just want to stipulate that. Just to be clear, I'm not saying we should have a death penalty, but just exclude this one white killer. I'm saying it shouldn't be for anybody, and he shouldn't be an exception. What do you say?
Interestingly enough, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not seen yourself or others come out and say that when it comes to a black person per se, when it comes to one who was actually guilty with overwhelming evidence and who has admitted to committing the actual crime. That is the only reason why. I'm kind of confused here. He goes into a church with malice aforethought. He planned to kill people. He did it. He admitted to it. And he even laughed and said, I want to make it crystal clear. I do not regret what I did. So at that point, there is no question. He deserves the death penalty, seeing how he removed 9 lives. His life is not worth 9, not even worth 1.
I think that's a solid argument in terms of the heinousness of Dylann Roof's crimes. I wouldn't dispute that. It was malice aforethought. He decided to go into a church and kill 9 people. I can't imagine a more disgusting thing to do. As far as your initial point, I always say no death penalty. For me, the death penalty isn't about innocence or guilt. I'm saying that for 3 primary reasons we shouldn't do it. 1, we get it wrong too often. 2, it doesn't stop crime from happening or murder from happening. And 3, America doesn't have the moral authority to kill its citizens or to decide who gets to live or die. That's my premise. But yeah, I absolutely have stood out against black folk who have done acts that they're guilty of. But my primary energy, you're right, is spent on black people who are innocent. We got people like Troy Davis, who we fought for, Tukey Williams, who we fought for. I've spent the last few decades fighting on behalf of Mumia Abu Jamal. And so I spend a lot of energy on those cases. And part of it, brother, is tactical. It's much easier to say, look, this brother's innocent. This sister's innocent. And so if y'all are about to kill an innocent person, then you may not know how many other people are also innocent. So let's stop the practice altogether.
Well, interestingly enough, and to all the people that you just mentioned, they actually have solid, justifiable reasons which determine and demonstrate why their innocence would be more than likely. They have not admitted to crimes. They did not commit crimes blatantly in a heinous malice aforethought setting. They did not write it in journals. They did not promote it all over social media. Some of them, of course, when they committed certain crimes or whatever they were accused of doing, they did it before social media existed. But I'm saying in this circumstance, a white man does not have to be put to death in order to justify extending or expanding death to happen for black men. They do that, period. They kill us, period, because we are black men in America. That's why they do it. We are guilty until proven innocent, rather than innocent until proven guilty in America by virtue of our skin color alone. They believe, and they have put in books, they have put in laws, they have put in propaganda that the black man is inherently evil, inherently wicked, inherently insane. He wants to kill, he wants to rape, he wants to murder. So that is how they have foisted this type of characteristic and how they have mischaracterized us generally. But I don't believe that this individual serving for the actual crime that he committed and falling into the penalty, which he rightfully deserves and that he admitted to, I don't think that's going to be used to then say, you know what, now let's put to death more innocent black people when we already do that. Long before Dylann Roof was born in 1994, we've done that. After his death, we're going to still do that. I don't see that correlating. I don't see that being a logical argument whatsoever. And I think that's why you received the pushback you did, because he is a blatant, admitted, open devil who did what he did. And because of that, there is no justifiable reason whatsoever, to keep him alive. There is no reason. He deserves the death that he has literally given to other people. The Bible says it, the Holy Quran says it, logic says it, science says it. You reap what you sow, you got what you gave, and what goes around comes around, and he definitely deserves what he dished out to others.
So there's two things here, and I would disagree with you. I think my argument is logical, even if you disagree with it. My logic is that the government will use the obvious innocence of Dylann Roof as a pretext for saying, look, there are some crimes that are so heinous and so obvious that you deserve to die. But then what they'll do is they'll take black folk whose crimes aren't so clear, right, that are actually fuzzy, but present them as if there's something else. How many innocent black men and women have we seen on death row where they said the punishment is obvious, that the evidence is incontrovertible, we got proof that this awful thing this black man did, and then they get executed, and then 20 years later we find out that heinous, awful, obvious thing that's indisputable, that sometimes they confess to, sometimes 10 witnesses saw, wasn't actually true. And the other point you make, and we're gonna take a break and come back because I want to talk this through with you, make sure we got plenty of time, is you're saying that he deserves to die. Let's say I don't necessarily agree with the idea of deserving to die in the way that you're saying it, but I think him being dead is justice. If he had been killed in that church by somebody with a gun, you wouldn't hear me tripping saying somebody made a wrong decision. The question for me isn't whether or not he deserves to die, it's whether or not the American government has the authority to make that decision. If you're talking about Qurans and Bibles and science, even if I decided to say let's appeal to that for law, which I don't think we should, those scriptures don't say to trust Pharaoh's government. It doesn't say to trust the evil government. It doesn't say trust the Roman state to decide Jesus' punishment, right? The point here isn't whether or not the person is guilty. The question is who has the power to dispense it. And this isn't just a philosophical argument for me. In fact, let me pause here because I don't want to talk too much before the break. I want to hear want you to engage with me. Stay right here, people. Rizza Islam is in the building. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff here. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Black News Tonight. I'm continuing my discussion about the death penalty in light of the recent decision to uphold capital punishment for white supremacist killer Dylann Roof. I'm back with Rizza Islam. He's an international activist, researcher, and a member of the Nation of Islam. My brother, what I said right before the break basically was, I agree that deserve might be the case. Dylann Roof deserves a whole bunch of stuff. But do we necessarily want to empower the United States government of all governments to have the right to kill its citizens? Because it's not a one-off. This is a policy that would take place not just for white supremacists who are obviously killers, but for all those black and brown people on death row, many of whom are innocent.
Well, I would say I don't think we can now try to give America a moral compass when she herself does not have a moral compass. She carries out being a judge, jury, and executioner on a daily basis when it comes to black, brown people, for the most part, and some white people as well. When these domestic terrorists, or some people call them police officers, certain ones who carry out murder, who carry out killing someone when they do not have all the evidence, when they do not have any justifiable reason, when they have used excessive force. So America does this on a consistent basis. However, when it comes to someone who has committed a crime, who has admitted to that crime, who laughed about the crime that they committed and then said that they did it completely on purpose and they do not regret it, and they violated the law 9 times over. In that circumstance, I would say America is actually being just when she is following that law and that penalty, which is putting a person to death who has overwhelmingly described, demonstrated, and have calculated in that manner that they deserve it. So I'm not going to say that now let us look at a moral compass and say, well, this may be used to be carried out on black people when they already carry it out on us with far less evidence, far less anything. We cannot try to justify it now all of a sudden when it is a white person who deserves it. It's just plain and simple. If it were a black man who did all of these exact same things, I would say the same thing because of what he did by way of his actual crime committed. It's overwhelming. So some of the other people that we brought up, they did not have this overwhelming circumstance. They didn't admit to the crime. There is no evidence that they committed it. For a lot of the people that you mentioned are named. But in this situation, it's completely different. There is no justifiable reason. And I know you mentioned Rome and Babylon and different things of that nature. when it comes to this government, we live in America. So there are laws. And I believe America says something that is very famously known, which is ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. He wasn't ignorant. He was completely within his right mind to do exactly what it is that he planned to do. And because of that, okay, he admitted it and he should face the consequences. America does what she does. She kills innocent people across the planet. She murders people wholesale for nothing and says that it is a justifiable reason for democracy, for spreading democracy, etc., when it is for oil, when it is for money, when it is for vested interests of different groups and organizations, and it has nothing to do with righteousness whatsoever. So in this exact same case, this has nothing to do with expanding potentially for Black people or everyone else who doesn't deserve to die. This is someone who deserves it, who made it very clear to deserve it, and he should absolutely face the consequences for his actions.
So I agree with your analysis of America's behavior domestically and abroad. So I think we agree that. So we agree on a couple of things here. We agree that Dylann Roof is a monster. He's a human being, but he's behaving like a monster. We agree that that America doesn't have moral authority and doesn't have a moral compass. That America moves in its own best interest as a nation. We agree on that. My concern, and I agree, you should follow the law. My argument here isn't that we should change the law for Dylann Roof. My argument is that as a nation, we should commit and fight to change laws. In the same way that in the 50s and 60s, we fought to change laws. In the 2000s, we have fought to change laws to make them more fair, to make them more equitable. We fight to leave the world better than we found it. That's part of our struggle. Even our brother Malcolm X, when he decides to attempt to hold America accountable in international court, the goal is to finally make America accountable to somebody, like an international body, some authoritative body for its behavior. So we're constantly trying to fight to make a wicked system a little more bearable for everyday people. So I'm with you on that. And one of the things we've been successful at in the last 20 years has been to move the death penalty away. And here's why I'm concerned about keeping a death penalty on the books at all. Because I know people out there say just what you just said. Look, there's some extreme cases where guilt is indisputable, whether it's the Boston Marathon bomber, whether it's Dylann Roof. We know this person did it. Again, I would just repeat that some people had the same certainty about Emmett Till. So I'm always concerned about this idea of legal certainty when it comes to folks, especially when it comes to Black folks. So I don't want the precedent on the books at all, even for white folk. Not because I give a damn about Dylann Roof. I'm just saying because of that. But the other piece of it for me is that the death penalty is often used against Black people to get them to plead to things they didn't do. You know how many brothers and sisters have gotten railroaded and they say, take this plea. Most of these court decisions we see both in state court and federal court, it's not a court of trials, it's a court of pleas. They go to you and say, look, if you don't take this deal, you might get the death penalty. If you don't take this deal, you might get life. And as long as the death penalty is dangled, a lot of Black people who can't afford representation, who are facing racist juries, they end up taking a plea because they're scared of getting executed by a wicked state. So by taking the death penalty off the table, we also give Black and brown people a better chance of fighting their cases. So you feel free to respond to that, but I also want to ask you a very specific question. If you knew that taking Dylann Roof off of death row would save the lives of Black people on death row, if you were certain of that, would you be willing to take him off of death row, or would the principle be bigger than that particular issue?
Well, to respond to the first thing, I would say, because in that case, what you're talking about, for example, you brought up Emmett Till. Emmett Till did not admit to raping anyone. Emmett Till did not admit to doing any of the things that they accused him of. Emmett Till did not admit to any of that. He was profiled, he was taken, he was beaten horrifically beyond recognition. And then his mother wanted the casket to be held open so that everyone could see exactly what this system does. That was a completely different circumstance. Carolyn Bryan Dunham, who was a devil, the one who lied, later on, I believe it was a few years ago, came out and admitted that he did not do what she accused him of doing. So that is a completely different circumstance. This individual, Dylann Storm Roof, did what he did, admitted to doing it, planned it, wrote about it, posted about it. He did everything to let everybody know, check this out, I did it on purpose. I killed 9 folks. I left 3 alive to let everybody know, to tell the story. Yeah, I laughed at them when they forgave me. I didn't even ask them for forgiveness. What's wrong with them? He is a blatant, pure devil. He did it. Period. And if anyone else of any color, shade, religion, ethnic background did the same exact thing, then I would say they deserve the same penalty. However, to your latter point, when it comes to whether or not saving the life or preventing him from being on death row and just having a life sentence or 9, 10 life sentences instead, if that would help to save the lives of Black people, Well, of course, in that type of instance, I would have to say yes, but the likelihood of that happening, I would say, is slim to almost 100,000% negative zero. So I don't think we can even try to bring a comparison. So obviously, yes, of course, in that situation, because my first concern is our people, and then second is all of humanity after that. But no, he's they don't give a damn about, saving black folks when it comes to this one white person. Well, if we take him off of death row, we'll give you 5 black lives. No, that's not how it goes. I like the way that you brought that up, though. That analogy was nice, but that's not realistic.
Well, I think it is, my brother, and I'll tell you why before we go. I'll tell you why, and I'll give you the last word. It's not that I think that they want to make a trade like it's the NBA or something. What I think is that the United States government is far more willing to execute black people than white people, and far more willing to execute poor people than middle class or wealthy people. And if you're poor and black, and the odds are completely against you. I think we agree on that point. And what I'm saying is that the government wants to continue to have a system that executes black people. And they are willing to dangle one random, obviously guilty white person in front of us at a moment where people are against the death penalty, so that people go, oh yeah, we do need that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same government that's willing to do a Tuskegee experiment, the same government that's willing to settler colonize the entire country and wipe out native populations, the same country willing to enslave African people, that same government that did COINTELPRO, that same government that was committed to killing Dr. King, that government is absolutely willing to maintain a system of capital punishment for population control, for executing people who aren't guilty, and for criminalizing black and brown people, and for maintaining a broader system of prison. That's what I'm saying. And to me, Dylann Roof becomes low-hanging fruit. They'll throw away a poor white Dylann Roof so that they can continue to kill us? Absolutely. And to me, what I struggle with is how people, like a brother like you who has a brilliant analysis of the state, a brilliant analysis of the American government, would want to cede that kind of authority to the government, knowing what they do. And I get your point that they're going to do it anyway, but I'm saying we can resist, we can fight it, and we can win, because that's what black people always do. What do you say? I'll give you the last word.
Well, on that point, I would say beautiful statement, beautiful analogy. The difference is, of course, black people's lives are not dependent upon white people's lives being saved. This government is only under the authority of God, and that is who they are supposed to submit to. They don't even submit to the world court. America does not submit to those dealing with the Geneva Convention. America does not submit to, when it comes to international powers, the United Nations, and it is a joke to them, which is why America withdrew from the United Nations Human Rights Council, because she was committing blatant human rights violations. She said, well, because the United Nations is corrupt. No, all of them are corrupt. So at this point, it is not a circumstance where, well, you know what, maybe if we prevent this life from being taken away, but just put him in jail for life, that will help us to curtail or prevent other black people who will potentially more than likely be innocent from losing their life to a death penalty. I like the theory. However, in reality, if a person has committed a blatant wrong at such a high level, he is not low-hanging fruit. That was a mass murder. That was a heinous, horrific act. That was blatant. It was a neo-Nazi, white supremacist, anti-black racist murdering spree that he committed, and he bragged about it. At that point, you are not low-hanging fruit. You are at one of the highest levels, just like his ancestors were. So at that point, he has to be made an example of by him actually, because in this position, America got it right. That's the difference. This case, they got it right. Other cases, a lot of the times they get it wrong. But in this case, they got it right, and it has to be exacted, not because they have the authority, but because it is right. It is a wrong being righted. It's not about, oh, white and black in this situation. It is about right and blatant wrong. And if blatant wrong is not checked, then they will have a justifiable reason to then let others go in certain cases. That's when you go into rape and sex trafficking and all that. And then you have lesser and lesser crimes. If you want to lessen this death penalty, then other crimes are going to be lessened as well. And then you will have a complete country in anarchy and chaos. And therefore, we will not have any form of basic righteousness, because we barely have any rule of law. We barely have any order. We barely have anything of that nature in America right now. And it's becoming weaker and weaker by the day. So if we want to still follow Satan, then we'll make excuses for him. But if we want to actually have a level of righteousness, as God does say in all holy books and in logic, then when it comes to certain situations like this, to exact the judgment and punishment, not because of America's authority, but because of what is right, then that is something that I believe will give an example to the rest of the world that, okay, they are doing what is right. Whether he was black or white, this crime definitely deserves that punishment.
All right, my brother Rizza Islam, thank you so much for joining me. I love the conversation, and you got to come back because I know we got some COVID vaccine debates that we got to have. People keep telling me we got to have it, so we're gonna have that. But I'll make sure you come back real soon so we could do that. Everybody, make sure you join the conversation as well. We want to hear from you. Head over to RBG.
All right, family, and there y'all go. Y'all got to hear the debate, the back and forth between, I like what y'all said in chat, Mark Lamont shield, because he is a shield, total shield, but a total leftist shield, right? This dude makes me fucking sick to my fucking stomach. And then we got another shield, you know, Rizza Islam, who's a, you know, we clown him all the time with his agent ass. Both of these motherfuckers are agents. You ask me, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was just listening to two motherfucking agents that's both for sit here to confuse black people. You got Mark Lamont shield with his leftist propaganda trying to confuse black people, thinking these white liberals got our backs and we need to adopt this white liberal ideology, this SJW fuck shit that he be talking about, supporting gays and talking his Black Lives Matter fuck shit and everything else with his diet pro-black. Then you got motherfucking Rizza Islam with his pseudo ass, with his pseudo conspiratard ass, confusing our fucking people even more on the other side of things. Both motherfuckers on the opposite side of the fucking coin, confusing our fucking people. He confusing them with silly ass Alex Jones, alt-right wing conspiratard talking points and motherfucking positions, lying, spreading disinformation that motherfuckers keep bringing around us for us to debunk left and fucking right. We gotta keep debunking his pseudo white supremacist nonsense that he keep espousing to everybody, and they keep regurgitating that nonsense. Both of these motherfucking shields. Neither one of these motherfuckers got black people best interests at heart. Both of them fighting over who's the best motherfucking slave master. Both of them. They both disgust me. Now that I got my personal opinions out about how I feel about both of these motherfuckers, I just had to get that shit out there. Just let y'all know, like, you know, whatever I'm about to say right now ain't hinging on who I like and who I don't like, because I don't fuck with either one. Right? So let's put that out there. Now, with all that being said, this death penalty shit is a touchy subject, right? Because it is disproportionately set to pretty much put black inmates to death, right? Because, you know, because the way the laws are set up and the way it's dependent on how good your lawyer is. And, you know, a lot of black people can't afford these big ass defense attorneys to come defend them. You know, everybody can't afford a Johnny Cochran, right? To get them off a murder case or some shit like that. Everybody ain't got these dream team numbers, right? So obviously, you know, white people are going to be put in better situations when it comes to decisions of whether or not a prisoner deserves death, right? And then you got the whole argument of, and this is a position I kind of hold, is death almost, what's the word? What's the best word I can say? Is the death penalty almost the easy way out, right? Because, you know, a motherfucker kills 9 grandmothers in a church. You know, he took 9 lives, right? And I ain't talking about a cat either. But he took 9 lives, or he shot 9 people. I don't think he killed all 9, but he definitely shot about 9 people. And I believe 8 of them died, if I ain't mistaken, something like that. Somebody can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But either or, he took multiple lives, several lives. And his one life don't equal all the other lives that he wiped out, right? It's almost the easy way out because I'm more, me personally, I don't really think death is the best penalty for a motherfucker like Dylann Roof. Me personally, I think torture is a better punishment for a motherfucker like Dylann Roof. He deserves to be tortured every day as long as he's breathing. For life. I think they should bring a torture penalty and put that into place. Because a motherfucker like Dylann Roof deserves torture. I'm not sure if the death penalty is torture. A death penalty is getting a motherfucker off easy. Right? Especially if you got a motherfucker who's suicidal. Because a motherfucker who's suicidal already has a death wish. So death don't mean nothing to that motherfucker. He's counting the days. He can't wait to die. Right? So some of these motherfuckers, you almost giving them what they want. And the purpose of incarceration is for punishment. And ultimately, if you giving somebody death who already has a death wish, is that really punishment? Right? Right. But then, I'll be remiss if I don't say this right here about Mark Lamont Shield. Why in the fuck are you picking now to make these motherfucking anti-death penalty arguments? Why are you waiting for Dylann Roof to be up for appeal against his death penalty for you to get on your and start speaking out against your opinions on the death penalty as a whole? Why would you pick now, of all time, out of all the black people that have been wiped out by lethal injection, by the electric chair, who've been hung, all these motherfucking black people throughout American history that had this done to them, you pick now with this K-Beast up for the death penalty to want to get on your soapbox and defend motherfuckers not being executed. Why would you pick now to do this? Of all times to do it, why not wait until after this motherfucker's wiped out? And then get on your soapbox. Why you ain't go to your soapbox before that? You coon ass Negro. You tell me. Why are you defending a white supremacist who killed 8 to 9 grandmothers out in Charleston, South Carolina? Why? In a motherfucking church of all places. Why? You want to bring up Tuskegee, Emmett Till, COINTELPRO. Like any of this shit matters to this motherfucking topic. Like any of this shit was relevant. What does the death penalty have to do with Tuskegee? That had nothing to do with the death penalty. Why are you talking about the death penalty with Emmett Till? Why? Not the same situation. Why? Why are you talking about COINTELPRO when discussing the death penalty? None of this shit makes sense. You had the cape on tight as fuck around your neck, cutting off the circulation to your coon ass brain. Oh, you was fighting hard. I mean, you was jumping out the window. It was fucking disgusting. How much them white liberals, how many nigga snacks did those white liberals deliver to your crib after that motherfucking little diatribe you just had? How many nigga snacks did they send to your crib? I'm curious to know. Let me know.
Buddy, snacks, buddy.
Nigga, what you eating now?
Snacks, nigga, snacks, nigga.
Nigga, what you eating now?
Snacks, nigga,
Nigga, what you munching now?
snacks, nigga, snacks, nigga.
Yo, nigga, what you nibbling on?
Snacks, nigga,
Yo, nigga, what you eating now?
snacks, nigga.
Nigga, what you munching on?
Snacks, nigga.
Yo, nigga, what you nibbling on?
Snacks, nigga. Snacks,
Yo,
nigga.
nigga, what you eating now?
Snacks, nigga.
Nigga, what you munching on?
Snacks, nigga. Snacks, nigga.
Yo, nigga, what you nibbling on?
Snacks, nigga.
Motherfuckers get on my goddamn nerves. And then Reza Islam talking about, oh, this about us being under God and all this other. Oh, man, don't even get me started with your nonsense. It's about motherfuckers living under God's rules and everything. Which God? Which God? Which God? Now we gotta argue over which God you talking about, because everybody's God ain't got the same rules, motherfucker. Especially your warped out ass fucking God with your mother-ships floating all above the fucking sky, with your motherfucking biracial fucking deity, Massive Farad with his biracial ass. And when I say biracial, I don't mean black either. I mean a motherfucker is half motherfucking Arabic and half European. He's that biracial. Yeah, he ain't got no black in him. Running around telling you weirdos the white man is God. I mean, excuse me, is the devil, and the black man is God. Give me all your money. Got motherfuckers out there committing. Don't even get me started on the nation. I was just clapping on them the other day. Don't even get me started on those motherfuckers. I'll run it down. Y'all already know. I pissed them Nation of Islam motherfuckers off. Oh well, motherfuckers. Y'all motherfuckers, whatever. History don't lie, motherfuckers. History don't lie. I ain't caught up. I ain't wrapped up into y'all bullshit. Supernatural fuck shit. Fuck you even bringing up that shit for? Talking about the death penalty. You want to talk about God's laws and all this. Hey, you don't get the fuck out. Anyways, Renee, I'm done.
Yeah, so I definitely want to go in on this. So, I have an unpopular opinion as far, well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's unpopular in general, right? But it's unpopular when you reference it to this situation. And so, honestly, I'm against the death penalty. And I've spoken on that before. I've been against the death penalty for many years. And my thing is that, first and foremost, it is, used disproportionately against Black people. But even beyond that, when you kill the person, it's not going to bring the other person back. It's not going to make them live again. I understand the whole premise of an eye for an eye, and that also you could even say is a biblical concept to some degree, but you know, it's not going to bring the person back. They're gone. You know what I'm saying? And I also, let me say this, I understand that people who had loved ones who were murdered and different things like that, they may have a different perspective because the way the crime happened, you know, and it took they loved one from them, it took their family member from them, they may feel like, hell yeah, kill them. You know, if somebody, you know, killed their child, their parent, their wife, their husband, whatever the case may be. So I understand that as well. You know, people who are in it may feel different about it. But to me, I just don't support the death penalty. And so I wanted to hit on a couple of things and hit on some issues as to why, right? So first, I do want to give y'all a little bit of what this comes from the Atlanta Black Star. And so this was an article about the Dylann Roof case, and this came out the other day. But it talks about some of the family members and their stance. And in the Associated Press article, it kind of made a little bit of mention, but I just wanted to hit a few points in this. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But for instance, so you have Reverend Sharon Reicher. Now she is the daughter of Ethel Lee Lance, one of the 9 people killed at the Charleston, South Carolina, Mother Emanuel AME church shooting. And she was in Texas when this whole thing happened. But to her, this is what she said. It seemed like I stayed in a fog for days trying to comprehend what had happened, watching the television 24/7, thinking somehow that this wasn't true, but knowing in my heart that it was, said Reicher. Reicher believes the 27-year-old Bruce's death penalty sentence is not conclusive. She expects he and his lawyers will drag the process through the courts, making his existence part of the purview of victims, families, and friends. She says she is still recovering from the shooting to this day. The healing process will continue to go on until I take my last breath. You know, it's something when a person dies of natural causes. But when a person is taken from you as tragically as those 9 were in that church, it's something that stays in your psyche forever, says Reicher. She went on to say that she would rather Ruth spend the rest of his life locked up. If you're a person cooped up in a cell like that, I believe you die every day, Reicher said. Since her mother's death, Reicher has used the tragedy as purpose for a new life's mission. She has become a vocal advocate for stronger gun laws. And she kind of went on to talk about the way he obtained his gun was a big problem in the U.S. This, that, and the other. But she also openly supports the federal death penalty Prohibition Act. The legislation introduced by Representative Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts and Senator Richard Durbin of Illinois will prohibit using the death penalty at the federal level and require resentencing of those currently on federal death row. Reicher knows not all the victims' families agree with her position on the death penalty. I started doing some research and I started reading about the death penalty and how the death penalty was disproportionately given to Black and brown. Oh Lord, stop. And Mark Lamont Hill and them was doing that in brown shit. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
Get that out of here. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because I don't hear no damn brown people running around here talking about the death penalty, how it's given to brown and Black people. I don't hear them saying that. Yeah. So she said, and how the death penalty was disproportionately given to Black and brown people, and how people have spent decades on death row, said Reicher. She said Reicher hopes the 9 souls lost at the Mother Emanuel AME church shooting are remembered not for their final day, but for the legacy they left behind. Okay, so I want to touch on a couple of things. First and foremost, with the family though, I mean, I have a lot of issues because if y'all remember, they had came out talking about they forgive him and all this other bullshit. And I want to separate a few things. yeah, let's separate a few things. I'm not with none of that. I'm not with no, and again, that's on them because that was their family member personally. But in terms of what he did, in terms of killing 9 innocent Black people who actually welcomed him in, hell no. Ain't no, what you mean forgiveness? What you mean forgiveness? So I want to separate that, because don't think that not supporting the death penalty in general is meaning that somebody's forgiven. Hell no. Because I do tend to agree with her about the part of being cooped up in a cell for decades. And he's young, he's fairly young, he's 27. So you got a lot more decades to go if somebody don't take you out in there or you don't take yourself out. You got a lot of time. You got a long ways to go. And so I am more supportive of that, to be honest with you. But now here's the thing. As much as Mark Lamont Hill, he be cooning it up. He's definitely a Democratic shield. He tap dances for the Democrats all the time, right? I still agree with certain points he was making. Those are positions I also hold. And I do want to say this. Rizza Islam was on point with a lot of what he said. Like, a lot of things he said cannot be denied. And I think he was definitely on point where he was like, but you know what? I never really heard you talk about this about cases of Black people who were, it didn't seem like they were innocent, right? So they were guilty. It was known this Black person is guilty for this capital crime. I didn't ever really see you speak out about it. Now, that's facts, as far as I know. I haven't heard him or seen him do that. But I think what Mark Lamont Hill was trying to do was to use this case as leverage for that, if that makes sense. Because this is such a high profile case and it's so known of, and then this is one of their good old boys. So in my opinion, maybe he was coming from that perspective, like this would be the case to use. Because let's be clear, if you were using a case of a Black person who was no question, hands down, straight up guilty of capital murder, right? And they had the death penalty on their head. That's gonna be a way harder sell to push back against the death penalty on those cases. Just if we're just being honest about it, okay, in terms of how Black people are done. So perhaps that was his strategy, perhaps not, okay? But in that way, it makes more sense to me for him to say something now. But yeah, I want to hit on a few things with this whole situation, okay? So when I understand the emotional part of this and the emotional core of this in talking about the fact that Black people who were Christian, he's our brother type of thing, and oh, you're welcomed here, because I believe he went to the church, that was like his second time at the church. So he already scouted things out, knew what was going on, and he had already had them open the door to him. So when he came back again, they would be even more welcoming that time. Okay, and they would be even less suspicious of him because he had come there before. And and this is not to disparage, my Black Christian people or anything, but sometimes our people are too welcoming to outsiders. We're too welcoming to white people in the name of God, in the name of Christ, and all of these kind of things.
Acceptance.
And so. I'm sorry to say that to some degree, and I'm not trying to victim blame at all. But I just want to make this point because I made this point years ago when we did a show when this situation first went down. That's one thing I'll say. I don't know about now, but for a long time, maybe like the NOI or somebody, you got a white person rolling up in there, they gonna be handled a certain way. Oh, why you here? What you doing up in here? Can we help you? Like, it's gonna be handled a certain way because you shouldn't even be in here. And the fact that you coming in here raises all the red flags in the world. And so the fact that Dylann Roof could come in and off rip be welcome. No questions really asked. Oh, come on, I'm sure. I wasn't there, but I'm sure, knowing how it goes down in Black Christian churches, especially and particularly when there's a white person. Especially and particularly when there is a white person, it's like a lot of times even more super duper welcoming. Oh, so happy, so ready for them to come be a part of the church. So that's a problem there. But he played upon Black people's acceptance of white people. He played upon those people's kindness. He exploited that. And that's one of the reasons he went to a church too, because he already knew what it was. That was an ample opportunity to do what he wanted to do. And he said, Dylann Roof said that, hey, Black people kill white people all the time. So everything he did was just, and he wanted to do way more than that. But, of course, he ended up getting Burger King. But yeah. So anyway, to get in a little bit deeper, because I think the conversation, we need to have a broader context. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the death penalty in relation to Black people and, what it has done to Black people and how it's been used against Black people. So I'm going to give y'all a little information from the Innocence Project. But let me say this first. You had, pretty much one of the first cases of a Black person, I think, on death penalty, before on the death row or what have you. Before that, they'll just kill you anyway. And even during this time, they would just kill you. But a lot of y'all probably have heard of George Steiny. I hope you have heard of him and what happened to him in terms of being sentenced to death. He was convicted at 14 years old. Ironically, with this whole thing, it was in South Carolina. And then however many years later, you had 9 innocent Black people killed in this church by this white bastard. And it's in so many ways, you're like, well, George Steiny got the death penalty for a crime he did not commit. He could not even have committed. He was 14 years old. He was a child, right? And then to say, oh, but Dylann Roof's life should be spared. So, that is absolutely a conflict. But that's why I wanted to give a little more detail about the death penalty and how it has specifically and particularly been used against Black people. So I'm gonna read some of this to y'all. And like I said, this is from the Innocence Project. And this was 9 years after the execution of Troy Davis. Innocent Black men are still being sentenced to death. Racial bias still plays a role in the use of the death penalty, which is disproportionately given to Black men. Okay, so on September 21st, 2011, the state of Georgia ended Troy Anthony Davis's life with a lethal injection. Davis was executed for the murder of a police officer, a crime he always maintained he did not commit. In the months before his execution, people around the country urged Georgia to reconsider in light of the serious doubts about his guilt, including the fact that 7 out of 9 witnesses recanted their testimony against him. Despite calls to stay his execution from politicians on both sides of the aisle, the NAACP, the Innocence Project, and Amnesty International, the state moved ahead with Davis's execution. On the morning of his scheduled execution, Davis asked Wendy Gozan Brown of Amnesty International to share a message with the world. This was his message. The struggle for justice doesn't end with me. This struggle is for all the Troy Davises who came before me and all the ones who came after me, he said. Unfortunately, there have been several Troy Davises in the 9 years since his execution. Clearly, this article is from 2020. And the struggle for justice is far from over. Since 2011, dozens of men sentenced to death have been exonerated, most of them Black men wrongfully accused of murder, according to data from the National Registry of Exoneration. In fact, innocent Black people are 7 times more likely to be wrongly convicted of murder than innocent white people, the National Registry reported. These wrongful convictions are just the ones that have been discovered, but it's likely that many more people with claims of innocence are currently on death row, like Purvis Payne, a Black man living with an intellectual disability who has been on death row in Tennessee for 33 years for the murder of a white woman, a crime he consistently said he did not commit. Even though 21 states have now abolished the death penalty, those which continue to use capital punishment do so in ways that are inextricably linked to and exemplify the United States' deeply rooted history of racism. A new report from the Death Penalty Information Center shows that the states with the highest incidences of lynchings of Black people between 1883 and 1940 are largely the same states that have executed the most Black people over the last 50 years. Last year, 52% of people on death row were Black, though they comprise just 13% of the overall U.S. population. This has little to do with the nature of the crimes, because see, that's what people will say, well, they commit this more crime. No. This has little to do with the nature of the crimes Black people are accused of committing, and more to do with the racially biased way that the death penalty is applied. Since 1977, when the executions resumed, just 21 white people accused of killing Black people have been executed. Really? I'm surprised that many. While 295 Black people accused of killing white people have been executed, even though white people make up only half of all murder victims, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. Racial disparities are present at every stage of a capital case and get magnified as the case moves through the legal process, said Robert Dunham, Executive Director of the Death Penalty Information Center, in a statement on the organization's website. If you don't understand the history that the modern death penalty is the direct descendant of slavery, lynching, and Jim Crow segregation, you won't understand why. Whether or not the death penalty is used also frequently influenced by the race of the victim. A 2019 study found that people convicted of killing white people are executed at 17 times the rate of those convicted of killing Black people. So in other words, if it's about murder, right? If it's about capital murder and it's about death, then why when you kill a Black person, you don't tend to get the same death penalty as if you are Black and you kill a white person? Make that make sense. Now, I'm not defending murders. However, like this breaks down, you have the racial disparities at every level, including the fact that you have had many Black men who were exonerated from death row. Many Black men who were up on capital murder charges and were actually innocent. It's so many of them, they don't have enough people to help them. They don't have enough lawyers to take all of these innocent cases. So we have to keep that in mind. I understand the emotional part of the Dylann Roof situation and what that bastard did. I understand that. But when you have somebody like a Troy Davis and so many others, mainly Black men, who the evidence is shoddy, people recanted, people said they were pressured by police, people lied, other people came forward and said they did it. It was recently a man here in Missouri up on this. And the guy said, a guy actually who did the crime came forward. I actually did this. Oh, it's heavy in Missouri. It's heavy because there's several cases going on right now. And Missouri is actually the state, it is the hardest to get off of, even when all the evidence is present that you are innocent. You can have everything laid out, that you can have all the evidence in the world to prove, hey, this person was never there, they never did this crime, and you can even have the proof that this other person did the crime, and you still will be locked up, and you still may get killed. So I understand the tug on the heartstrings when it comes to this type of horrific case with Dylann Roof and what he did to those 9 innocent Black people. And that you want him to die. He deserves to die. That's facts. That's facts. But when you weigh that out, when you look at people like Troy Davis, that young man died. He's gone. They put an injection in his arm and took that man's life. So, and with some of these cases, when it's not known, and like I said, the evidence is shoddy and it's all these other issues, if those people are not sentenced to death, they have more of an opportunity to fight their case. They have a longer chance of being, the opportunity to be exonerated. But like in this case, for instance, one of the ones I'm using Troy Davis, it didn't matter. They was like, oh no, we just gonna kill him. We just gonna kill him. That's it. What you want? Like, we gonna kill him. And when you look at states like Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Georgia, right? You look at a lot of these states like that still have the death penalty. Like I said, there's a huge correlation between lynchings and everything that happens. So you see almost an exchange there. And again, let me be clear. A lot of these people that's on death row, in terms of crime, deserve to be there. Meaning that they did the crime and they need to do the time. Meaning that, this is not a case of where they were innocent or where it was patchy evidence at best. No, for some of these people, it's up and down, straight up and down. They're guilty of capital murder, of serious crimes. Some of them killing children, all kind of crazy stuff, right? So that's understood. But also when you have innocent people that are killed, what's to say about that? And again, if America cares so much about murder, if America cares so much about capital murder, why then, again, like I just said, Black people, when they kill other Black people, get the death penalty far less than if a Black person kill a white person? Why is that? And when white people kill Black people, it's far less death penalty. Why? Make that make sense. If this doesn't have a racial element to it. So, again, we got to look at the bigger picture sometimes in terms of what we may think. Let me read this last little part to y'all though. Okay. According to the report, both implicit bias and overt racism influenced the use of the death penalty in the U.S., with judges, jurors, experts, defense attorneys, and prosecutors at times exhibiting explicitly racially biased behavior. Such bias was seen in Payne's trial. And this is one of the men I mentioned earlier who had the mental condition. Such bias was seen in Payne's trial. And by the way, that happens a lot. Black men who have mental disabilities and different things like that, and are noted to have committed crimes, or crimes have been put on them. And these people cannot stand. These people cannot stand trial or any of that. They still kill them. But yeah, such bias was seen in Payne's trial, during which the prosecutor repeatedly referred to the white skin of the victim, a white woman named Sharice Christopher, while using racist stereotypes to portray Payne, a black man, as a hypersexual and violent drug user, even though no evidence supported this characterization. Payne is scheduled to be executed on December 3rd. The Innocence Project, and I believe he was, the Innocence Project, the federal public defender for the Middle District of Tennessee, and the law firm Millbank LLP are fighting hard to save his life. Recently, the Shelby County Criminal Court ordered DNA testing of evidence in Payne's case. This evidence has never been tested for DNA before, and the results could confirm what Payne has said for over 3 decades, that he did not commit this crime. There is still time to save Payne's life. I think they did kill him. I'm gonna have to look that up, because like I said, this was from 2020. But also, long story short, let me say this. People were saying, like, a lot of these pro-Trump people, pro-Trump black people was like, yeah, baby, Trump, baby, on his way out, he killed up some people. Do you hear me? He killed up some people. Quite a lot of people were executed. I want to point that out. Many of which were black. I want to point that out. And in fact, when we talked about it earlier this year in one of our shows. So I spoke on that. But Psycho, do you want to say something?
No.
Okay.
I was going to let you finish up.
Yeah. So they talked on here about this man Purvis Payne, but I really don't want to go deeper into that, because I actually, because they said there's still time to save his life.
You got some pictures here too.
Right. Though his life should never have been put on the line, because his intellectual disability makes it unconstitutional to execute him. And while the state of Tennessee has never disputed Payne's disability diagnosis, it provides no mechanism through which to demonstrate his diagnosis to the court. Last week, the legal team filed a complaint with the court asking the state to stay his execution until he is able to show this diagnosis. Payne's family, legal team, and supporters are continuing to call for justice in this case, as Davis's family continues to push for the truth and to end the death penalty, which has resulted in the death of innocent people. In his final moments, Troy Davis asked God to have mercy on his executioners. Really? And beseeched his family to continue to fight this fight. 9 years later, the continued fight for justice is needed now more than ever. Have mercy on your executioners? Okay. No. I don't see, clearly, I can't speak for somebody who's laid out on the table and they about to put injection in your arm to kill you. In that moment, clearly he believed in, probably, I would assume, a Christian God or Jesus or whatever the case may be. And that he probably was thinking, the whole thing of, you got to pray for people, love your enemies, this, that, and the other. So I'm sure, in my opinion, he was speaking from that position. But man, that's horrible. But yeah, I do have some images. Psycho, you can go ahead and start. I want to address a few things. So even in the context of the death penalty, you have bias within that in terms of Black people, right? So I just wanted to present some of these things because in looking up information, more information about the death penalty as relates to Black people, I came across some of this and I was like, wow, this is really something to talk about. But so you have the first image, and I'm not sure if Psycho put it up yet or not,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
okay, because y'all had a delay, but robbed the pharmacy and killed the owner. Life. Robbed the beauty shop and killed the owner. Death. There's a huge bias even within complexion. And I'm gonna get into that. And then you see here, you can go to the next one. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Black defendants tried for killing white victims were twice as likely to be sentenced to death if they had, quote unquote, stereotypical African facial features. A black defendant's facial features had no effect on whether a death sentence was imposed when the victim was also black. So if a black person kills a white person, the less black, so to speak, they look, it'll be a little better for them. And the more black you look, they gonna come down that much harsher on you. However, if you are black and you kill another black person, well, then it doesn't figure in as much. I'm like, well, you know. In 2011, in Jackson, Mississippi, 7 white teenagers randomly attacked and killed James Anderson, a 49-year-old black man, while shouting "white power." Now, this is what Barbara Anderson Young said. She was a sister of the murder victim. We oppose the death penalty because it historically has been used in Mississippi and the South primarily against people of color for killing whites. People of color, black people. I'm tired of this. People of color, this black and brown. Executing James's killers will not help balance the scales, but sparing them may help to spark a dialogue that one day will lead to the elimination of capital punishment. See, again, this is one of these hard things because everything in me, I want them up out of here. They deserve to die. You can't debate that. You know, they deserve to die. But again, when I have to look at so many cases of innocent black people, or where there's other issues, their mental capacity, all of these other things that figure into it, it's a tougher call to make. Let's see. Okay. Georgia executed Kenneth Fultz in 2016. He was represented by a lawyer who said of another black client, "That little nigger deserves a chair." The lawyer slept through parts of Fultz's death penalty trial. One of the jurors in Fultz's case said, "I don't know if he ever killed anybody, but that nigger just got what should have happened. Once he pled guilty, I knew I would vote for the death penalty because that's what that nigger deserved." The U.S. Supreme Court refused to intervene. So, like in this case, right, you already had where the lawyer was like, okay, he deserves a chair. The lawyer was asleep. They knew that jurors felt certain ways and said certain things, even though they said they don't know if he killed anybody. And so this man is dead. He's dead. He's up out of here. It's over. So it's kind of like, okay, what can you do about it? At this point, it's something you can do. He's dead. So, it's so many elements to these conversations. To this conversation that you really have to examine, because in terms of representation as well, a lot of black people are poor. A lot of black people don't have the money to get these major defense attorneys who will really, really, really go in on the case. a lot of Black people have these public defenders, and they're just another number, and it's just another nigger, and yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah. And another point I want to make is, and I think Mark Lamont Hill even mentioned this, but there was a Black lady, I cannot think of her name, she's a lawyer, and I've seen her doing an interview, and she has handled so many cases of predominantly of Black men who are on death row who are innocent. And she talked about, and then a lot of Black men who are innocent in general. They may not have gotten the death penalty, but they're innocent and they're currently incarcerated. And she was saying how, even in terms of the plea deal, right, that they dangle death over these people's heads in order to get them to take these other pleas. Again, even when it's shoddy evidence, even when they may be innocent and all of the above, but because they hear death, well, if you can get the death penalty. If you don't take this plea deal, if you don't do these 30 years, if you don't do life in prison, whatever the case may be, we'll kill you. So what do you think a lot of people are gonna do? People who don't have the means of proper legal representation, people who may not be the most well-educated or well-versed in these kinds of issues, coming from poor backgrounds and those kinds of things, they might just go ahead and say, okay, I'll take the 30 years, or I'll take the life in prison, because at least it's not the death penalty, but they don't deserve that. So the death penalty as well is used to dangle over the heads of a lot of Black people, to get them to cop to these pleas so that they can, they don't have to go to trial, case closed, life, natural life. You feel me? Life in prison, 30 years, whatever it is. They can just case closed, no trial, boom, high five, as far as the prosecution is concerned. We got another conviction, high five. So, and that's been the story of a lot of Black men. And let me say this last thing before I throw back to Psycho, because I think that was, I did have a couple more. I have one more. Again, I'm not saying that there are not guilty Black people in prison that deserve to be there for the rest of their life. Not saying that. Obviously, we know that to be true, but we are talking about the group of people who are there who don't deserve that. And, in terms of how the death penalty plays a role in that. Anthony Ray Hinton was exonerated from Alabama's death row. Oh, Alabama. In 2015, after 30 years of wrongful incarceration. The prosecutor said he could tell Hinton was quote unquote evil just by looking at him. Hinton relayed a conversation with a police lieutenant at the time of his arrest. You got a white man, they gonna say you shot him. Gonna have a white DA, we gonna have a white judge, you gonna have a white jury more than likely. And he said, all of that spells conviction, conviction, conviction. I said, well, does it matter that I didn't do it? He said, not to me. So, yeah. So, again, there you have it. There you have it. And then 30 years later, here they come. Oh, we're going to let you out of prison now. And 30 years of this man's life has went by. Plenty of his loved ones, I'm sure, have passed away. He missed out on doing so many other things in life. And all they can tell you is, okay, bye. So anyway, I just want to, and let's be clear, he could have been dead because he was on death row. So in his case, he was actually, if you could even use the word, good, he had one of the good cases where he ended up being able to actually get out 30 years later versus, being gone forever. So I done went on for a minute, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to break that down because, you know, for me, I am against the death penalty, and I just think that it is used so harshly against Black people. And, you know, we are the ones who are going to be most impacted, and particularly, again, innocent Black people impacted. But yeah, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, you know, definitely. Like I said, I understand the argument against the death penalty. I get it. I question Mark Lamont Hill's timing in all this, because I don't want to hear this shit with Dylann Roof's case coming up. This ain't the time to be talking this shit. Where was he at when Tukey was about to motherfucking die? When Tukey Williams was about to motherfucking die, where the fuck was he? I ain't see him on his soapbox trying to get Tukey out. When Arnold Schwarzenegger voted against motherfucking getting Tukey off the goddamn death penalty. I didn't see Mark Lamont Hill. Where was he? See, this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, I can't deal with weirdos like him. I can't, because I already know where this is coming from. You know, this is white sympathizing going on. This is motherfuckers showing empathy for our fucking oppressor. And he's trying to mask it as something else, like he gives a fuck about these Black people that's motherfucking dying due to wrongful cases and getting put to death. He don't give a fuck about that shit, because if he did, he'd have brought it up then. He ain't gonna bring it up now. Now ain't the time for that shit. I don't want to hear this shit. He ain't no better than the motherfucking religious kooks that's out here giving him forgiveness. Talking about they'll pray for him. Who the fuck is you praying to? What kind of God you praying to that's going to forgive that son of a bitch? Whatever God's going to forgive that son of a bitch that you praying to, I don't want no parts of that motherfucker. Keep him to your goddamn self. The hell y'all praying to? We gonna pray for him. Pray for him about what? Pray that he get tortured? I hope y'all praying that he gets tortured. If that's the God you praying to, sign me up. Tell me which motherfucker which God is this? Which doctrine I need to fucking follow? If you praying that motherfucker gets tortured, that's the God I want to follow. Fuck that. I heard vengeance is mine, said the motherfucking Lord, but where's the vengeance at? All I'm hearing is a bunch of forgiveness. I ain't seeing no vengeance. The hell going on around here? I don't get this shit. This little forgiveness shit. Oh, we gonna forgive him. He knew not what the fuck he did. He totally knew what the fuck he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He geared up for that shit for weeks. I don't want to hear that shit. Fuck you mean he know not what the fuck he do? I mean, picking and choosing which part of the Bible y'all want to subscribe to. Y'all better get down with that Torah. Y'all better get up on that Torah and leave that New Testament alone. That New Testament got y'all fucked up. Y'all better get on that fucking Torah only shit. Eye for an eye, motherfucker. Eye for an eye. That's that Torah shit. But these New Testament motherfuckers will tell you all that shit goes out the window due to grace. Fuck all that shit. Fuck that grace shit. He don't deserve no grace period. Fuck we giving Dylann Roof a grace period for? What the hell is going on around here? Show that son of a bitch no goddamn grace? What? Are y'all shitting me? Gotta get him. Gotta get him. Wait the judgment day. Gotta get him. God will be the judge. Man, fuck that. Fuck that. If I'm listening to you motherfuckers, that motherfucker God might let him off. God might let him off easy. Say he repented. You repented before you died when you was in the jail cell. I heard you. So, therefore, I'm going to go ahead and let you up in here. You're forgiven. That's the judgment your God does according to y'all motherfuckers. According to y'all motherfuckers, all he got to do is just repent. If he repent, he going to stay up in heaven. He'll be up in heaven quicker than me. Because I didn't repent. It don't matter what the fuck you do down here if you follow the New Testament. If you follow the New Testament, it don't matter what the fuck you do in this worldly world as long as you repent before you motherfucking die. You could be the most fucked up ass individual that ever lived in the existence of history of man. Repent. 5 before you die, and you gonna make it up in the pearly gates. This is what motherfuckers tell you. This is what motherfuckers tell you. So don't tell me God gonna be the judge. I don't trust your God's judgment. He forgive motherfuckers because they said my bad 5 minutes before they died. 5 minutes before they died, they said, yo, God, my bad, man. I fucked up before, man. My bad. My bad, son. I ain't mean to kill those 9 grandmothers. It was an accident. My bad. I shouldn't have done that. I repent. My bad. God up in the sky, okay, my son, you can enter. This is what y'all motherfuckers tell me. This is what motherfuckers tell me. All you gotta do is repent. It don't matter what the fuck you did down here. It don't matter. It don't matter. As long as you kissed his ass 5 minutes before you died, you're good. Forgiveness. Fuck forgiveness. Fuck forgiveness. Fuck any God who told you to forgive a motherfucker. Fuck him too. How about that? Dislike buttons over there. The motherfucker's telling you forgive that scumbag, fuck him too. For fucking with y'all brain. For having y'all thinking some dumb shit. That motherfuckers better get some motherfucker. Y'all, what? Man, listen. That motherfuckers better get some goddamn, some fucking, some courage. Stop being scared. Fuck that shit, man. Torah only, motherfuckers. That's what y'all need to start following. Y'all gonna follow that kooky shit? Follow the Torah only. I like how the Torah get down. Them motherfuckers don't play. The God of the Torah don't play them fucking games. He wipe shit out. He annihilate shit. That's why I want to see Dylann Roof get annihilated. I want to see him drown under 1,000 feet of water. That's what I want to see. Waterboard that motherfucker like it's the fucking Marine Corps. The fuck I want to see. Torture. Where's the guy that gives out torture? I want that guy. I want to believe in that motherfucker. I want to believe in the motherfucker that believe in torture. Torturing Dylann Roof. That's the God I want to believe in. Where he at? Where that God at? I bet y'all tell me that God bad. Whatever God tells me that, I bet y'all say he bad. I bet y'all say that motherfucker is false. Y'all talk shit about that motherfucker. Because we supposed to be about forgiveness. Fuck that forgiving shit. Fuck that. I ain't that forgiving ass motherfucker. I'm not as forgiving as these motherfucking God believers. I'm not that. No, I hold a grudge, motherfucker. Y'all need to learn how to hold one with me. Y'all need to learn how to hold grudges. You shouldn't hold grudges about everything, but certain things deserve grudges. Yes, you should hold grudges about certain things. Yes, motherfucker. There are such things as deal breakers, motherfucker. Hold a grudge. Shit's crazy. Torture. That's what I want for this motherfucker. Torture. I want him to sew his asshole clothes, and I want him to keep feeding them, and feeding them, and feeding them, and feeding them. I want motherfuckers to sew his eyelids wide open and keep feeding them sleeping pills. Torture. Torture. I want to take his hands, tie them shits up, tie one arm on one side, tie the other arm to the other side, dump a whole bunch of Viagra down his throat, and make him watch porn 24/7. I want to torture this motherfucker. Where that God at? Where that God at? Where? Give me that guy. Somebody find me that motherfucker. And bring the doctrine with you so I can study that shit. I want to be indoctrinated with some of that shit. Where that motherfucker at? Torture. Know what I mean? That's the type of shit I want, man. Fuck that motherfucker, man. I want to hear all that forgiving shit. I want to hear all that Jesus loves everybody bullshit. I don't want to hear that vengeance is God's and all that other shit. Fuck that. Ain't we supposed to be the warriors of God? Ain't God supposed to be moving through us? Well, motherfucker, God telling me to motherfucking torture. Torture. Now, how many of you spiritual motherfuckers out there probably sitting up there saying to yourself, he got an evil spirit up in him. He's possessed by a demon. Because I want to torture Dylann Roof. I want y'all to check y'all motherfucking emotions. Why is your spiritual mindset telling you that I'm a demon? Because I want torture to Dylann Roof. Why would your God tell you that? Why ain't your God saying what I'm saying? Ridiculous. We forgive him. We forgive him. I don't, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck if you family or not. I don't. I ain't forgiving shit. Just like when the Amber Geiger case. With them kooky ass motherfuckers. Those Bible thumping weirdos running around here on making an asshole out themselves in fucking court. Forgiving shit, hugging motherfuckers, passing out Bible shit was disgusting. I ain't give that racist ass motherfucking Becky a motherfucking pass for shit. I don't give a fuck what the family said. I don't give a fuck how coonish that family was acting. They gave you a pass, I don't. Torture for Amber Geiger. Torture. That's what I fucking torture. All these motherfuckers, all of them. Cop that shot, the cop that choked out George Floyd, torture. Torture. Cop who shot Walter Scott, torture. The pig that shot Philando Castile, torture. Fuck that building. That building, that's too nice. That's too nice. Make them motherfuckers wish they was dead. Torture them motherfuckers till they wish they was dead. Till they ready to off themselves. Torture. That's doing something. That's what I want, motherfuckers. Don't let these motherfuckers off easy. Death too easy for these fuckers. Death too easy. They don't even kill them right. Feed them to the sharks if you're gonna fucking kill them. Feed them to the fucking sharks. Torture. Dump them in a pool of piranha. Dump them in a tank full of piranha for like 20 minutes. See if he can survive. Torture. Oh, damn, lethal injections. Put that motherfucker in the lion's den and let's see if he's David. Let's see if this motherfucker could pull off a good David impersonation and throw his ass in the lion's den. Torture. Torture. That's what we need to get to. Torture. Motherfuckers want to get on a goddamn soapbox and start motherfucking defending Dylann Roof and go against the death penalty now of all fucking times. Now you want to get a heart. Now you want to get some motherfucking sympathy. Now you want to feel empathy. I don't want to hear your bullshit. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Don't let him die. Let him wish he was dead. Torture him till he wish he was dead. That's punishment. Well, motherfucker wish he had a loaded gun right next to him so he could take himself out. That's what I want to see. Fuck him. Sit up here and catch no up. Sit up here and get all up in your emotions, up in your feelings, your fifis. That punk ass motherfucker fighting to get let off the death penalty, and you want to sit up here and co-sign that shit? You and these kooky ass spiritual people, man, if y'all get the fuck out of my face. Y'all get the fuck out of my face. That weirdo shit. Fuck that. Fuck that. Revenge is ours. Revenge is supposed to be ours. And it's a dish best served cold. I don't trust other people's vengeance for me. I don't trust other people taking vengeance for me. I don't trust that shit. I don't trust that shit. You ask me to put trust in a forgiving ass God? No, I pass. I don't put trust in that motherfucker. I don't. He'll just forgive him. He'll just forgive him. According to your scriptures, that's what the fuck he's gonna do. All he gotta do is repent. That's all it requires. It doesn't require much. Bullshit. Get so fucking pissed when motherfuckers sit up here and defend these murderers. When the victims are up here talking this, can't we all just get along fuck shit? Oh, Rodney King fuck shit. How the fuck am I more pissed off than you? Because you kooky. Because you kooky. And your New Testament told you this. It told you to feel that way. And you trying to be a good Christian. I don't get that bullshit out my fucking ear. Trying to be a good Christian. Should try to be a good black person. Y'all motherfuckers never try to be that. Y'all more caught up with being good Christians than being good black people. Standing up for black people. You more caught up being a good Christian. And Christianity says you're supposed to forgive them. Because they repented. Anybody can fall from grace, but as long as you repent, blah, 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 maybe y'all get that bullshit out my face. That cliche, indoctrinated bullshit, passive bullshit. Dick. Yeah, I'm ranting. Yeah, I'm ranting like a motherfucker. I'm seeing motherfucking Bible believers forgiving this motherfucker and talking about they don't want to see him get death. You motherfucking right, I'm ranting. And what's their reasoning for wanting to forgive him? Being a good Christian. That's their reason. Only motherfuckers you will hear talk that shit is a Bible believer. They the only ones who will talk that shit. Forgive. Forgive, forgive, forgive. I ain't forgiving shit. Fuck out of here. I ain't forgiving shit. Tell me what the Torah said. Tell me what the Torah say. Tell me about that goddamn New Testament. Tell me what the Torah say. I want to scream Hebrew, but y'all don't follow that Torah though. Hebrew Christians. You Hebrew Christians. Where my Torah only motherfucking Hebrews? Where the real Hebrews at? Where my real Hebrews at? The Torah only motherfuckers. Where my real Hebrews? Not these blackwashed Christians that call themselves Hebrews that are really Hebrew Christians. No. Where my Torah only true Hebrews at? Can y'all please open up these scriptures and school these fucking Christians and these Hebrew Christians? These blackwashed Christians? Can y'all please school these motherfuckers what the Torah say? Tell me about this passive bullshit ass New Testament bullshit. Torah says an eye for an eye, motherfucker. The Torah didn't say vengeance is mine, said the Lord, and all this other fuck shit. It said eye for an eye. Tell me what the Torah say. Don't give me that Christian shit, that New Testament Christian shit. Tell me what the Torah say, Hebrews. If you're a Hebrew, tell me what the Torah say. Tell me about no damn New Testament. Fake Hebrews. Fucking Christians. Under the guise of Hebrew. Yes, Olivia, absolutely. That's what the Torah says. Jealous God and a vengeful God, exactly. But a Christian that come around here and act like that shit don't matter because the New Testament. The New Testament erased all that. Now it's all about grace and salvation. Erased all that shit. Now all of a sudden God's some peaceful, forgiving God. Man, you read that Torah, man, that motherfucking shit. That God, what? He was not forgiving. That motherfucker was annihilating nations. Flooding the earth. Are you shitting me? What kind of forgiving God floods the whole fucking earth just to start over? Just to hit the reset button? My bad, I fucked up. I got a mulligan though. Let me erase all this shit and start all over. Nah, I ain't forgiving none of these motherfuckers. I ain't forgiving you for eating that apple. No, I ain't forgiving you for that shit, motherfucker. Humanity is cursed. Humanity is going to be born with sin for the rest of their life because of your fuck up. Would you say, Adam? You're sorry. You repent. I should forgive you. Man, if you don't get that bullshit out of here. Hey, Noah, come here, Noah. Noah, come here, dog. Noah, you hear this motherfucker? You hear Adam? Adam over here trying to piece shit up. Adam over here trying to squash our beef and shit. You see this shit, Noah? How the fuck is Adam going to try to squash our beef talking with some bullshit ass apology? Like I'm supposed to believe this shit. Like I'm omnipotent and omniscient. Like I don't know he lying and shit. I'm God, motherfucker. You think I don't know he lying? Yo, Noah, you hear this motherfucker? Talking this repenting shit. I fuck that apology. I ain't forgiving shit. Noah, get your ass on that fucking boat with all those fucking animals on there. Yeah, get on there and squat there until I get back to you, all right? I'll meet you on the boat. Don't worry, get on the boat. Let me finish handling Adam with his fuck shit. Now, what was this shit you was talking, Adam, about forgiveness? What? Man, listen, Doc, nah, God, dog. Now, I ain't, nope. I ain't hearing you. Fuck that. I ain't hearing you. I gotta put you on pause real quick, because I gotta dump a whole bunch of mosquitoes and frogs on the entire motherfucking nation of Egypt. Annihilate all the Pharaoh, try to annihilate the Pharaoh and everything. And then I gotta get these commandments out here. And then they gonna fuck it up. They gonna be wandering around for 40 years, and I'm gonna let them too. I'm gonna let them wander because they tried, because the motherfuckers shouldn't have been worshiping that gold cow. They was up here worshiping that gold cow. I told them don't worship nobody else because I don't be playing that shit. I told them I'm a vengeful God. I am a jealous God. I don't play that shit. They gonna play around trying to troll me. They down there trying to troll me with a motherfucking golden cow. I'm like, all right, I got some shit for you motherfuckers. Y'all want to try to troll me, right? Okay, I got you motherfuckers. Had them wandering around for 40 years and 40 years. Lost in the desert. Now who's trolling who? See how I troll? I give you motherfuckers 40 years in the desert. That's how the fuck I troll. I ain't figuring them motherfuckers out there. After the first night, they was begging for my forgiveness. They was begging for my forgiveness after the first night. I told them to go fuck themselves. They got a long motherfucking time before they get to where they gotta go. I'm about to troll you for 40 years. 40 years and I ain't playing no games. Noah, you still there? All right, Noah, calm down. Squat. I'm coming. I'm almost done. So, Adam, why should I forgive you when I ain't forgive none of these motherfuckers? You tell me. Exactly. Shut your dumb ass the fuck up. Wow, wipe all this shit the fuck out. Wash all this shit away. No, don't worry. I know the boat rocking a little bit. Don't worry. It got good balance. I made sure I built it right. That's a sturdy shit. That's a sturdy motherfucker, Noah. You good? Like, are y'all shitting me? Are y'all shitting me? Forgiving God. Y'all better get up on that tour. Y'all better get up on that tour. Y'all want to be Hebrews. Y'all better follow the right God. Stop following that forgiving God. That's Christian shit. Any Hebrew that follows the New Testament, you still a motherfucking Christian. You a blackwashed ass fucking Christian. That's what you are. What's the definition of Christian? What's the definition of Christian? A follower of Christ. That's what Christian means. Christian means a follower of Christ. And if you are running around here screaming you're a Hebrew and talking about Yahushua is the Most High and all this other shit, Yahushua this and Yahushua that, and you talking all this New Testament shit and everything else, by definition, you are a Christian. You are still a fucking Christian because you are still following Christ. I don't give a fuck what you motherfuckers call yourselves. You call yourself a Hebrew, all the fuck you want. You are a Hebrew Christian. You are a Hebrew Christian. That's what you are. You're a Christian that acknowledges that black people are the Hebrews of the Bible. But by and large, you are still a fucking Christian. That's what you are. That's what you are. By definition. It drives me nuts when I hear Hebrews talking this Christian shit, trying to act like they not Christian. Like y'all totally Christian. What do you mean? There's nothing in the Bible that says in order to be a Christian, like if you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, you are no longer Christian. Where does it say that at in the Bible? You motherfuckers are still Christians. Y'all following that New Testament. You follow that New Testament, you're a Christian. Bottom line, I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Y'all delusional. Y'all playing mental gymnastics. if you think you ain't a fucking Christian. You're playing mental gymnastics. Hebrew Christianity is just another denomination of Christianity. Y'all are just a different denomination of Christianity. Y'all are Hebrew Christians. Y'all made up your own denomination. That's what y'all did. My bad. Go ahead, Renee. You trying to get in?
Yeah. Yeah, because we ain't gonna sound too much longer, y'all. Yeah, we wanted to get in early, get the show going, because I do have to work tonight. But yeah, I think y'all kind of understood, like, hopefully, the perspective we were coming from. And I understand, I mean, we have, I understand people's feelings on the issues, especially as relates to Dylann Roof, you know what I'm saying? And definitely Mark Lamont Hill's timing is like, really? So I definitely understand that. And honestly, I have, Rizza Islam, especially with this whole COVID thing, he's on some whole other stuff, but Rizza Islam made a lot of excellent points. I felt like in their debate that I agree with, but yeah, so just keep in mind.
All right. Shout out to Kelly Ray. She said, what she say? Psycho Miss Legit. That forgiving crap is BS. If you come for mine, I'm coming for everything you love until they stop me. Put Roof in general population, he won't make it. That's very real about him being in general population. He won't make it. They already had an instance where he got.
I wanted to speak on that.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna speak on that. I want to say shout out to Dwayne Stafford, because actually that was a good segue. So shout out to Kelly Ray for that, because if y'all remember in 2016, there was a jailhouse fight with Dylann Roof. Well, he got his beat by a brother named Dwayne Stafford. And this brother, he really had a sad story in terms of, like, he was in and out of the foster care system since he was like 3 years old. He was currently in jail behind, he was accused of roughing up and robbing somebody outside of a gas station he frequented. No one was seriously hurt, but the incident landed Stafford in the county jail where he served 571 days. Damn. While awaiting trial before finally being bonded out earlier this month. This was the article at the time that came out from NBC News. And so, shout out to that brother, because what ended up happening was they said that it was like one of the jail doors had been left unlocked for like 12 hours. And so that's how he was able to get out and get at old boy and do what he did. So I'm thinking definitely probably one of the black COs, okay, you know what I'm saying, left the door open, and brother man came through and did what he did. So, and I definitely hope that Dylann Roof, as Psycho was talking earlier about torture, I would love for him to be tortured and killed in prison by black men. I wouldn't want them to have to do extra time or nothing behind that, but I would definitely like for that to go down. So shout out to Dwayne Stafford. So I think after that happened, a lot of people have reached out to him, and that's how he was actually able to get bonded out. And I really hope the brother is doing good. I hope he's doing better with his life, and there's some things work out for him. But yeah, so from what I understand, he was not like, no time or anything was actually put on him at all. Let me read this part. From the moment Ruth stepped into the unit, special management unit reserved for inmates who might have problems in general population, Stafford was quote unquote drawn to the scraggly killer. Okay. When he first got there, everyone was cussing him out, saying what they were going to do to him, Stafford said. But I wasn't even in the mindset of violence. I was more like, damn, that could have been my people. No, they were my people. I just didn't understand how he could do that, pure evil. Still, Stafford said that he engaged in small talk with Ruth. He said he walked by his cell and they chat about politics and current events and sometimes girls. Interesting. I'd say, what's up, man? And he'd come to the cell door smiling like I'm his friend, Stafford said. But the whole time I'm looking at him like, you couldn't find nothing else to do with your life. I didn't know I was going to get him, but it was more of a you know what you did type of thing. But soon enough, Stafford said he knew he had to do something. He said that one day not too long ago, he'd pressed Ruth on his plans to start a race war. And at some point, Ruth insulted Stafford's recently deceased father. From that moment on, Stafford fumed. No more small talk, no more fake friendship. Weeks passed, then in a stroke of serendipity, there was an opening. A pair of prison guards responsible for guarding the unit botched the jail's inmate handling procedure. It was Thursday, August 4th, a little after 7 a.m. Jail officials say that when guards locked down the unit in order to take Ruth to the showers, they failed to properly lock Stafford's cell door. The doors rattle when they lock them, Stafford said. My door didn't rattle. He didn't pull it hard enough. After I heard all the other doors rattle, I pushed on the door and went downstairs. There, Stafford found Ruth alone in the shower. One of the officers had gone on break and the other was delivering toilet paper to another inmate, according to officials. Stafford said he uttered just 4 words before he started throwing punches. Mind if I join you? Okay, that could be taken different ways in the jail shower. But anyway, by the time jail guards responded, Ruth was badly bloodied, curled up in a fetal position. Did Ruth fight back? He tried, but nah, Stafford said with a chuckle. I beat Dylann Ruth's ass. Charleston County Sheriff Al Cannon Jr., who runs the jail, blamed the incident on complacency and at the time told reporters that it was not clear if race was a factor. Beyond the obvious speculation that we would all have given the nature of the situation. News of the jailhouse beatdown went viral with social media users cheering Stafford on. Community activists began calling the jail, inquiring about Stafford's bond, which was set at $100,000 for the robbery and assault charges. Other supporters began to rally together to see how they could help, while Good Samaritans added a few $100s on his jail commissary. Within hours, community organizers reached out to attorney Marvin Pendarvis, who soon joined the team as Stafford's lawyer. Pendarvis, who has made a name for himself as a fierce advocate for the poor and vulnerable, said he was going to do everything he could to get Stafford out of jail. Despite rumors that supporters sent hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay Stafford's bond, Pendarvis said a well-meaning bail bondsman cut a favorable deal to secure his release. Stafford was out the following day. That's what's up. I took my first steps out of jail, he said, and I felt secure. It was a feeling, he said, he's rarely felt. He was homeless when he went to jail. He didn't have much clothing and very little money, but he emerged from jail something of a folk hero. People had given him temporary housing and have donated money, clothing, and food. His supporters have also set up a crowdfunding page to collect donations to pay out the money owed to the bail bondsman and to support him until he goes to trial for his earlier charges. Stafford said he was innocent of those charges and that, quote, they got the wrong guy. For Stafford, the long road to redemption wound its way through foster care, jail, and ultimately through Dylann Ruth, who has declined to press charges. Stafford said that he hopes to stay out of jail to help others and to use his voice for those who don't have one, and that he's thankful for his turn of good luck after a life filled with the opposite. I respect people, especially when they say I don't condone violence, but you did the right thing. but you did the right thing. Stafford says, I just looked straight up at the sky and thank Jesus because that could have gone really wrong. So yeah, I actually had that up ready to discuss this, but yeah, so that was the brother Dwayne Stafford who, like I said, ended up beating up Dylann Roof. I wish, you know what I'm saying, he would have beat him so bad he couldn't recover and whatever, but then they might have got him for that. So I mean, it is what it is, but and it sounds like there was like a little well sculpted plan. It sounded like it wasn't no case of all these little things just so happened to happen. It's just so coincidental that they didn't pull his door all the way. The one guard was on break. The other guard was taking toilet paper to an inmate, and Dylann Roof was just left by himself. Nah, that was set up, and I bet you some money them other two guards was probably black, and they probably had been talking to Dwayne Stafford before that, and they knew like he was ready to get at him, and he got at him. And you know what? You know, the part about he was talking to him and all that, okay, but in terms of what Dylann Roof did to those 9 people, even though this ain't nothing compared to that, I mean, he ain't dead. But in terms of him, like, first coming there and making these people feel comfortable with him, and then coming back and doing what he did, that was kind of like poetic justice in that kind of sense. And maybe that's why things happen the way that they happen. Like I said, it seems like they kind of set it up that way. But shout out to that brother again, and I really hope that, you know, he's doing well. I hope he's doing okay. I hope he's staying out of, you know, jail, and I hope that he's gotten some other opportunities. But it was good to see that people did rally around him in terms of, because then people would be like, well, what is he in jail for? But what did he do? Well, you know, I mean, what if he did that? It wasn't a good thing that he robbed somebody and roughed somebody up, you know. That's not good. But he did serve his time. He was in there, 500 and whatever many days in jail. So, and he's somebody who's had a very rough life, like I said, in and out the foster care system. So, you know, that's a brother who needed another chance and another opportunity, and I hope that he got that. But so yeah, I just wanted to give that story too.
Yeah, I remember when that first happened. We covered that story when it happened too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Old boy ran down on him and everything else. It'll be a whole lot more of that if he was ever in general population. And he'll have some white nationalists who have his back, but
yeah,
it'll get ugly though. It'll be ugly up in there. It'll just be a bunch of white and black motherfuckers at war with each other up in the yard every motherfucking day till they get a piece of them. So like,
somebody gonna get them though. I think eventually somebody gonna get them. I hope somebody get them.
They never got. They never got the Manson.
True.
Manson got under those Aryan motherfuckers and he got protected.
Yeah. But Manson didn't kill black people though.
True.
You know what I'm saying? He killed them white people, the La Biancas and the chick that was an actress and all that. Who was pregnant and everything. He killed them, even though he was down with the whole race war, the helter-skelter thing.
He tried to pin those murders on black people, though.
Yeah, he did. That's why they put the pigs and all that kind of stuff to try to separate that it was black people who did.
Yeah, started putting all that black power shit and blood all up in there. Yeah, trying to make it seem like it was a bunch of black people that ran up in there and did that shit.
Yeah. That would be a good show to go in and break that down and break down Helter Skelter and all of that kind of stuff, like, because that's a very interesting case and situation, because you know that's what he was on, was that it was going to be a race war type of thing, and
right, that was his whole purpose.
Yeah, so that would have been
just like Dylann Roof, he was trying to get the race war started, just like Dylann Roof. He just did it in a way where he was going to kill some white people and made it seem like black people did it, trying to frame black people.
Right.
He figured that would be the best way to get the race war started. And then Dylann Roof took it somewhere else, and he said, "Fuck it, I'm going to go kill some black people and just get it jumping." And, but both of their reasonings for what they did was still behind trying to start a race war.
Yep. And gosh, I was just thinking that somebody
right. Manson didn't kill anybody, but he put out the orders to get the people killed.
Yeah, he put out the orders, exactly. He didn't kill anybody. He had his little zombies.
His main man and some girls. Girls and his main mans and them did that shit. Yeah, and another dude. Yeah. Yeah,
he had his little zombies do that whole thing. And it was somebody else I was just thinking of that was trying to start a race war. Gosh, it just left my mind. Somebody else who dang, who was that? Who were trying to give one in in terms of Atlanta, the killing of all those black boys. If you look at that documentary they did with the new evidence and all of that kind of stuff, I think it came out last year. And it was like a 6-part series, something like that, like 5 or 6-part series. Oh, it was riveting.
About what?
The Atlanta murders of the black boys. And it was actually kind of revealed because the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, they hid a lot of evidence. They suppressed a lot of evidence. And what honestly actually ended up kind of coming out was that these white nationalists and KKK organizations that were in Georgia wanted to get the race war jumping. And that was the motivation for them killing all of those boys. However, it was like a switch up in the whole situation. And so then it ended up getting put on the black dude. And they bring out a lot of evidence. Like, because at that time,
that was HBO, I just said in the chat.
It was on HBO. Yeah. And so, like, there were recordings, there were a lot of things like that, a lot of evidence that actually did not get put out there. And so it is widely believed, even by a lot of the family members, that he was not the one that did it. The black Walter, I can't think of his name, but Wayne, that he was not the one that did it. And so, it was actually like a kind of a cover-up situation. And that initially that's what they wanted to do, was to get a race war jumping. So, and that's why they killed all those little black boys. So so it's definitely been a history of like those type of things going down to get something started. That would be a good show to do, is to talk about a race war, like in terms of, because then that would encompass like Charles Manson, it would encompass all the things we were just talking about. Dylann Roof, the Atlanta child murders, and all of those different ties to wanting to set it off. But yeah,
definitely. Because you got a whole bunch of examples of this throughout the course of history. We could peel that onion back deep. So that's definitely a topic we should delve in on one day. This whole like I said, this whole situation, man, this shit is really a triggered topic for me. This Dylann Roof thing, I've been triggered since the day it happened, and I've been on the warpath since then. And like this case right here, like that shit. I got family in Charleston. None of my family members died, but I got family members live there. So that shit close to home like a motherfucker. That could have easily been one of my family members there. My motherfucking pops had preached in that very church. He wasn't there that day, obviously, good for him, but he has preached in that church before, spoken the quote unquote good word, right? Because those don't know, my pops is a big time Bible thumper. I might not know that, but yeah, my pops is a big time Bible thumper. He preaches and teaches the Bible. He'll tell me he teaches the Bible. I better be careful saying that. He's very specific. He said he teaches the Bible. He don't preach it. So he teaches the Bible, right? That's what he does. And you know, he's been in that church multiple times. He knew the people that died there. So this case is very close to home for me. You know what I mean? So so I get a little bit triggered and turned up when discussing this. You know, so and you know, this, I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see no motherfuckers up here putting the cape on for this motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what your opinions is about the death penalty. Keep that shit to yourself until this case is over. Keep that shit to yourself. I don't care. Whatever opinions you have, like I don't want to hear that shit when pertaining to this case, Dylann Roof, especially if I didn't hear you talking about this shit prior. Don't use this case as a way to try to push your bullshit ass no death penalty shit. Like I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Mark Lamont Shields, the goddamn white liberal mouthpiece. I said that shit when he was on Side Netters and got timed out for calling him that. Got timed out for calling him that, and then he turns around and does this shit. Like he ain't proving what the fuck I've been saying. He's a white liberal mouthpiece. He always has been. That's why I can't stand this motherfucker crying on motherfucking TV for dumb shit. Love a grown ass man motherfucking crying on motherfucking TV because some white motherfuckers got a W. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I can't with that weirdo. I can't. He gets on my fucking nerves with protecting the gays and everything else. He loves protecting those alphabet boys too.
Yeah.
He loves the motherfucker.
He's always pushing for that and trans people and all that.
Always jumbling us up like he did on that shit with the black and brown coalition fuck shit.
Yeah, I get sick of that. I get sick of hearing this black and brown thing. I never hear the so-called brown people talk about black people, and the fact that so many black people who were innocent are on death row or any of that. I haven't heard them speak about that. I haven't heard them make a big deal about that. But and the need for people to do that, the need for people to say black and brown is because they don't feel strong enough to stand on blackness. So it's like you got to try to share that burden when it's black people that have the burden. So to try to water it down, because I find that with so many black people today, they don't like saying black. They don't like, singling us out when it comes to us being singled out. I mean, that's the reality of it. So people will say, oh, well, minorities, people of color, black and brown people, all of this kind of stuff. They'll say these kind of things because they're not strong enough to stand on blackness. No, I don't have to try to add in no damn minorities, no damn people of color. No, black people. Black people are disproportionately impacted. Black people are killed when we're innocent. Black people were the victims of Dylann Roof. Ain't nobody got to try to sit here and water nothing down. And that's the problem now. And that's why we can't get a lot of things going, because so many black people like Mark Lamont Hill have embraced this whole minority concept, this whole people of color, this whole LGBT and underprivileged groups or groups that are discriminated against. They've embraced all of these kinds of terms. And so then blackness gets watered down. We already know we're going to be at the bottom anyway. So, yeah. And brown people, quote unquote, they ain't got to do nothing because black people out there fighting for brown people. The brown people ain't got to say nothing because every time black folks are black and Latinos, black and Hispanics, no. And ain't none of them damn Latinos giving a damn about black people. Let's keep that above. But then too, I wanted to say about the race war concept, just to throw in really quickly, that Capitol riot was a race war. That was a race war.
Oh, that totally.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing about it is, and I have been saying this for a long time, and that's why, it's cool to talk about Brother Pedalite or whatever his name is, Polite or whatever, and these other people, but we also need to be aware of what's going on, because them crazy ass white people that ran up in the Capitol, baby, they ain't gone. They out here, they plotting, they planning. Mark my words, it's gonna be some major that goes down. Let's keep that up. Nowhere. And Biden and all them. See, this is the thing. Them people, you gotta come down swift and hard. You gotta come down swift and hard on these people. You gotta give them the harshest, most brutal punishment possible. Because if not, all of that just continues. And they're not gonna do that because these are white people. Not only are they white people, they not even the lowest class white people. A lot of them white people out there on the 6th were middle class, upper middle class white people. And so at the end of the day, Biden is white, all them other white Democrats, that's why ain't shit happened. Because they still gonna be for the home team. And that's why I'm saying, black folk, y'all better be paying attention to what's really going on out here. Because the Capitol riot,
we are now in September. Where are the
Capitol riot? Yeah, and the Capitol riot was absolutely a race war. Because here's the thing, and I've been saying this for the longest. In order for these white people to really get at black people, they gotta get the other white people out the way first. So that's why you hear them, the libtards, and they have such hate and vitriol toward the white liberal people and all that, because they like, y'all the buffer, y'all kind of like standing in the way of everything that we want to be able to do as white supremacists, everything we want to be able to do as white nationalists. Y'all giving somewhat of a buffer, but see, the liberal white people, they sponge off of black people, of course. They are the ones getting our money. They're the ones misleading us on so many other things. So they're profiting off of black people. So they're like, well, no, we over here with these people, but we're profiting off of them. They're keeping us in office. They're electing us to positions. So they're standing in the middle. And not to mention, some of these white people consider themselves humanists. Some of these white people are the LGBT people, and they're like, oh, they're these social justice warriors, some of them. And we all know that they're still racist as hell. But they're still being somewhat of a buffer between the right wing, straight up Nazi, white nationalist people. They're kind of like in that middle zone. So they want to clear them out so they can really do what they want to do, which is assert pure white dominance, even though the country's already built on white dominance. But because they feel like they've lost some things, because their population is not what it used to be, they see that, oh, well, there's a little bit more people that are not white in certain positions doing certain things, especially when Obama got in office. That really sounded the alarm. And that's because they're like, wait a minute. So they actually let a nigger in here, even though they know he's mixed and he ain't full black. They like, they let this nigger in here, Michelle Obama and all that. That really sounded the alarm even more, because that's something that they definitely cherish, that these are all white men. These are all white men who have led this country, who have been over this country, who have dictated what goes on in this country. And so when that happened and they put the mulatto in there, it was like, oh, okay. And that turned up the heat a lot. So that's what you see happening with the Capitol and all that. Even all of this COVID stuff, the anti-mask stuff, these are privileged white people talking about freedom. They're using that as a bullshit excuse for all of the other things that they want to say and they want to do. So be careful with what's going on out here, that y'all paying attention to what's happening, what these people are saying, what these people are doing, because they want to really, really, really get at black folk. They want to really, really assert their white, and not saying that they want to go and kill all black people, but they want to go back to the days of old. See, that's why they support the Confederate flag and all that stuff. They want to go back to the days of old, where if you wanted to, you could just kill a black man and can't nobody even say nothing. Even though it still happens, especially if you have a uniform on, and you have a badge. So, but they want to be able to do that across the board. They want to be able to say, yeah, get this boy. They want to be able to really be back in the days of old. So that's what they want. That's what they're pushing for. That's why they uphold the Confederacy. That's why they uphold all of these beliefs. And y'all black folk running around here with these people thinking y'all done connected with them on this QAnon BS and these conspiracy crap and the anti-mask, this and that. You better be clear on what you lining up with. That's all I'm gonna say.
They very clear. They're very clear because those conspirators know where this information is coming from. They know where all this shit coming from. I saw a motherfucking stream. Was it yesterday? Motherfucking I'm gonna go ahead and say her name, Vicky Dylann, did a stream yesterday, and in the midst of her stream, she was talking about how please don't misconstrue with us challenging she calls it the juice, challenging the juice with what these white people are out here doing when they're talking about the juice. We're talking about it from a different perspective. No, y'all motherfuckers ain't. No, y'all motherfuckers ain't. Y'all all got the same motherfucking talking points. Like I said, see, they realize the sitting's onto them, right? They realize that everybody can see where all this fuck shit is coming from. So now these motherfuckers are starting to backpedal. They starting to try to blackwash it. You know, they trying to blackwash this whole anti-vax movement and shit and make it black. And they trying to backpedal and say, yeah, they over there talking that shit too, but we're not getting our information from them. We're doing our own research. Right, where's your own research landing you? Your own research is landing you in those goddamn InfoWar fucking websites, these kooky ass motherfucking anti-science spots and everything else. Like, this is where your research is leading you. You are not getting this shit from black scholars who actually are black scientists who actually studied this stuff. You getting this shit from kooky ass black people who listening to kooky ass white people and regurgitating they kooky ass white nonsense. I don't give a fuck like that shit. It is what the fuck it is. We expose this shit all the time. We exposed that shit the other day in real time. Motherfuckers coming in here saying this and what about this and what about that? What about this and what about that? Every time they shout out some new shit, we showed them where that information came from. We showed them their white source. We showed them that shit wasn't coming from Rizza Islam. I don't give a fuck if Rizza Islam said it. Y'all ain't check that motherfucker. Y'all ain't fact check that motherfucker and see where he was actually getting his information from. Y'all thinking he's some kind of scientist or some shit. That motherfucker ain't no damn scientist. He's a goddamn kook. That motherfucker getting dumbass information pumped in his fucking head and he think he doing something. He don't know shit. He don't know shit. He listening to a bunch of low IQ fucking white people. That's the fuck he listening to. I showed y'all the people that be motherfucking regurgitating this shit. Same fucking talking points. I showed y'all where y'all get y'all pro-black talking points. The white people y'all getting it from. Getting pro-black talking points from white people. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. You know it's something wrong if your pro-black talking points is coming from white people. Y'all might want to check y'all quote-unquote pro-black talking points if you're getting them from white people. If the Ku Klux Klan is regurgitating your same anti-vax rhetoric, you might want to reconsider what the fuck it is you're actually saying. Huh? If white nationalists is running around here regurgitating that same anti-vax motherfucking rhetoric, y'all might want to reconsider where y'all get y'all fucking information. This is facts. This is facts. I ain't making this shit up. We proved this shit many times. Nobody want to listen to us. Even though we show it to them, they still don't want to listen. I don't even want to get started on that though, because that's going to take us all down old avenue. We've been beating that topic to death. Kind of want to take a break. Speaking of which, we got Pseudo Sunday coming up Sunday, and I got a different topic I want to talk about besides the VAT. I don't want to talk about that shit. I want to deal with the kooky white information on that. I got some other white information I want to challenge. You said something, Renee?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got another topic that I kind of want to talk about. I saw another stream that really made me want to hammer home some shit. And I want opposing views to click that link. I ain't gonna say what it is. Y'all gonna see on Sunday. But I want opposing views, and there's a lot of opposing views out here. I want y'all motherfuckers to click the link, and I want y'all to prove y'all claims. I'm gonna challenge y'all on Sunday. I got some hot shit for you motherfuckers. Ain't nothing new. Ain't gonna be nothing new for me. But I'm opening up this panel and I want motherfuckers to hit that link. I'm sick of motherfuckers with these little silly ass talking points. And I want to hear motherfuckers try to run them talking points past me. See if they stand up to the smell test.
Yeah. Do I know what it is?
You will after the show's over. I'll tell you after the show's over. You gonna want to talk about it too, though. Oh, trust. You gonna want to talk about it too.
Yeah.
You gonna want to talk about. Trust. It's stuff we done. It's something we done hammered home many times, but it's something that we need to get even deeper into. And I want people to challenge us on this shit.
Okay.
The motherfuckers listen to us say certain things and then run back to their platforms and then try to challenge our talking points. But they go on their platform saying it where ain't nobody going to challenge them in the echo chamber. I want these motherfuckers to have enough heart to hit the motherfucking link and actually challenge us in real time and prove what the fuck it is they're saying. That's what I want.
Yeah, so many people don't want to do that.
No, they don't. They don't.
Which is like, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Because if you come, you got to come correct. Like, you got to come with some evidence, some proof, some things like that. And if you don't really have that, then I can understand not wanting to come through. But yeah,
but it's this idea that these motherfuckers try to make these little white motherfucking talking points pro-black, or these white philosophies pro-black, or these like it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep beating these motherfuckers to death with they showing them they white information. I'm gonna keep slamming y'all to death. Y'all motherfuckers beat me to death for years on here, talking that white man science crap, beating my head up about how all black people are African and atheists ain't African and the white man science this, the white man science that. And then just to have you motherfuckers coming up here with your white man pseudoscience, regurgitating white man pseudoscience, racist ass white people pseudoscience, to hear these same motherfuckers who talk this white man science shit to me for years, regurgitating this pseudo white man information, this shit is disgusting. And I'm gonna call this shit the fuck out. I'm gonna call all this shit the fuck out. I'm gonna let all these motherfuckers no, dog.
Yeah.
No, dog. That's the white man pseudoscience you following.
Mm-hmm.
That's the white man pseudoscience. And I can prove it.
But, yeah. But, we gotta wrap it up, y'all. So,
we get ready to wrap it up. We've been on for a minute.
Yeah. I wanted to bend off, but, you know, we kept talking and I started talking about some other stuff. So, but, yeah, so I appreciate y'all coming through for like this early show and whatnot. And, you know what I'm saying? It's good to have conversations on things like this, real issues going on, in the world, in our community, you know, and in terms of this bastard, and what he did. So, but yeah, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, we gonna holler, or I'm gonna holler at y'all on Pseudo Sunday, so we can get it in. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. And as per usual, even, you know, since the show's over, but still, if you can, share the show, you know, or if it's a particular show that we did that you like, you know, post a link on your social media, you know, so other people can see it, other people can hear the show. So, but yeah, other than that, I appreciate y'all, love y'all. And I'm
Yeah, Julie said lots of people around the world are anti-vax. They all listen to InfoWars. Yes, Yes, if they don't listen to InfoWars, they listen to somebody who does listen to InfoWars and is regurgitating InfoWars information. That's what I'm telling you. Yes, the source information for all this anti-vax shit, you can link it back to InfoWars. Absolutely. You can link it back to Robert Kennedy and InfoWars, Alice Jones. Yes, these are yes, absolutely. You can link all that shit back to them. And black people was not anti-vax until the fucking COVID virus. Black people was not talking this vaccine shit until recently. I know because me and all my friends got vaccinated when we had to go to school. Wasn't none of this anti-vax talk going on back then. My seed got motherfucking vaccinated before she went to school. It wasn't no anti-vax talk going on back then either. This is new shit that coming from the internet, from kooky white people. Black people listening to kooky white people thinking they got some special knowledge because the white man said it. That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. We've proven this many times. I could prove it some more. I could prove it more. All y'all information is coming from kooky ass white people. All of it. All that anti-science shit. Y'all didn't create this anti-science shit. Y'all ain't create this shit. You think y'all motherfuckers create this anti-science shit? Y'all ain't create this shit. Y'all ain't create intelligent design. These little weak ass intelligent design arguments that y'all like to espouse. Y'all think y'all started that? Y'all think black people thought of intelligent design arguments? That pseudo nonsense? That came from white people. All that intelligent design shit y'all motherfuckers come up came from white people. But y'all always talking about the white man's science. Y'all motherfuckers kill me. All y'all information come from white people. Where's the black man's science? Right? Motherfuckers say, oh, you believe in the white man's science. I would believe. What's the black man's science? Tell me what the black man's science is. What is that? Give me an example of the black man's science. What is it? What is it? Dr. Sebi? Please tell me Dr. Sebi is not the black man's science. If Dr. Sebi is the black man's science, now I don't believe in the black man's science then. If Dr. Sebi is that, so if you want to come out here with that Dr. Sebi stuff telling me that's the black man's science, then you're right. I don't believe in the black man's science. Nope. Now if it's Dr. Sebi, absolutely not. What is the black man's science? I didn't know science had a color. I thought science was the practice of testing, experimentation, and observation. That's what I thought science was. Until I came on the YouTube around a bunch of kooky people who put a color to science and try to call it the white man's science. I hear that shit on YouTube. When I was coming up and I was in school, I learned science. Science. There wasn't no white or black attached to it. It was science. That's what it was. Science don't got no color. That's spookism. That's anti-science rhetoric. Anti-science rhetoric that y'all actually got from white people. That's the funny shit. Hilarious. Science is testing, experimentation, and observation. That's what science is. White people ain't got no copyright on that shit. Again, y'all motherfuckers keep giving white people the copyright on science. I don't subscribe to that. White man ain't God. White man don't got no copyright on science. Anything that motherfucker tested, anything he experimented, anything that motherfucker made observation on, I can do the exact same motherfucking thing. That shit is not exclusive to a skin color. Science is science. And no race got ownership on science, regardless of the spooky rhetoric that people like to espouse. That anti-science rhetoric. White man science. That shit sound crazy as fuck to me. Nobody says that Asia's math. Nobody says that. Why nobody say the English math? Why? Because Asians ain't got no copyright on fucking math. Math is math. Got RBR in the fucking chat. 2 plus 2 is always going to equal 4. Ask RBR, he'll tell you. 2 plus 2 is always going to equal 4. I don't give a fuck what race you are, what culture you come from, what language you speak. 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4. Nobody, no race has a copyright on that. No race has a trademark on that. But when it comes to science, we quick to give that trademark out to a race of people that is not us. Why do we do that? Because everybody want to protect their spooky ass book. Anyways, I gotta stop because I'm about to go into a whole different thing, and I know Renee trying to get out of here. So yeah, Renee, you got anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. Peace, y'all.
Y'all knew I'd go on with that forever. That white man science stuff. Oh my goodness. Anyways, family, please do me a favor. If you haven't already, please click like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean? It's very important that you click like. It gets us in the algorithm. It's also important that you share. It lets people know that we're breathing. And it's also important that you subscribe. And do me a favor, family. After you subscribe, please don't forget to hit that notification bell. It's very important that you hit that notification bell so we can be notified, so you can be notified whenever we go live, and you can be here nice, bright, and early, and don't miss none of the show. And sometimes, we might get shadow banned. That might be the only way you can find it. You know what I mean? And yeah, shout out to the notification gang out there. And yeah, to my haters out there, y'all already know what it is. It's about that time. If you had any issues with anything you heard today, any opinions that was given, if you want to protect Dylann Roof, whatever the case may be, by all means, now's the time to express yourself by clicking dislike. You should still share this motherfucker. Don't be selfish. And then you might want to unsubscribe. Because if you got a problem with us banging on Dylann Roof and how we shouldn't be apologetic to these motherfucking savages, then I already know you ain't on none of these motherfuckers right here, and you need to get your ass some so you can stop being so passe about real fucking issues. Also, family, please consider becoming a Patreon. If you do, you have access to any stream I do, whether I keep it up or whether I take it down. I also have exclusive content on there, and I also have no limits on there. Whatever you feel like the channel's worth, that's what you donate. All donations given does go towards the production of the show, as always. Shout out to all my Patreon out there. I appreciate all y'all. And yeah, family, please follow me on Twitter and the Gram and at Clubhouse at SYKOPATHeist, spelled the same way as the channel. Also, you can subscribe to all our channels. This is very important. You can find all these in the description. Because, sometimes we might have to channel hop. And if we do, you want to keep up with everything it is we're doing. So please hit the description and subscribe to all those channels. And yeah, family, as always, if you're looking for any graphics, artwork designs, or logos, please consider hitting up our sister Renee at Renee Black Graphics on Facebook. Also, if you're looking for any t-shirts, hoodies, or coffee mugs, all custom designs, please consider hitting up her store as well. All these links, just like all the other links, will be in the description box. As always, serious responses only, please. Thank you very much. And yeah, family, please, my bad. No, I'll be back on Saturday. I'll be back on Saturday for the Wake and Bake. I got an idea what I'm gonna talk about there, but I really can't wait to Sunday, because I'm telling you, I'm gonna go in on Sunday. Might be some people mad at me, but it is what it is. But yeah, but my next show will be the Wake and Bake, and I got an idea what that's gonna be about already. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, family, as always, know what I mean? I want to give a shout out to everybody out in the live chat. I appreciate all y'all for coming through. You know what I mean? Shout out to my Deep. Shout out to everybody else. Shout out to everybody that was out in the clouds, just listening and being nosy. Appreciate all y'all for coming through. I want to give a peace and black power to everybody. Holla black at your boy and your girl. We out.
Battle anybody, I don't care, you die. Battle anybody, I don't care, you die. Battle anybody, I don't care, you die.
Yeah.
Battle any, I accept.
Yep.
They all
Yep.
gonna go.
Let's go.